Live from New York. It's a show that's preparing to reopen Club Superstar. Security is in the building. The bar is stocked. The lighting is here, and the disco ball has fallen.
The first Club Superstar we did was 4 months before we came back in studio.
Yes.
It was in the morning. This is the 5th edition of it. And this has what I would consider maybe the most shocking ejection from the club.
The door's tighter. A lot of clubs, get a little looser with the door.
The question is, how does he treat the elders?
At a club?
Well,
gotta go. You don't gotta
I know
go.
one elder. I know.
It's
Gotta
the whole Brew gets.
Old guy in the
Can I
club.
tell you something? Brew might be an elder. He gets right into the club. With the last club I was at with Brew, there's a long walk around line. Brew acted like he didn't even see it. Walked in, wife, daughter, son-in-law, everybody. Walked right on in.
The clutch part.
Right, exactly. Walked right on in.
First hour, first things first. Club Superstar coming up promptly at 4 o'clock a.m. That is today. Will Drake have his best year ever now that A.J. Brown is on the team? Is that even possible? He's number one in several categories. Meanwhile, finals picks. Who's the MVP? Who will be the X Factor? And who will be the next recipient of the Nick Wright curse?
Excuse me? You know what? We're going to address that.
Go ahead. Right now? Or
Well, I mean,
later
I
on?
picked the Knicks 2 weeks ago to make the finals and win the championship.
That's half.
I did. Well, I've been bad on the West. I've been bad on the West.
And finally, who's going to be left out of Club Superstar?
I can't wait.
Who's in is only half the ballots. Who's not getting in? That's always.
Because the thesis of it is one in, one out. Superstars thrown around like top 10 players.
No.
He's too flippantly.
12 guys.
12 guys. Same as a basketball team.
Yep, except it's a club.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
strings.
Right. Brew wants us expanding it.
No.
Brew's from that everyone gets a trophy generation.
Yeah.
Brew just thinks just do your best.
14
You're a superstar.
guys.
Nick Wright, Kevin Wildes, Chris Broussard. We are starting. What a story. Sorry I missed yesterday's show, but we're starting New England. After a Super Bowl blowout and a scandal-laden offseason, the Patriots franchise had good reason to be crestfallen. But then a call from Philadelphia. Hold on, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished. When I was at testimonial that he was ready. Here's A.J. Brown today.
I'm trying to adjust and walking up the hill with the uniform on. I was like, man, this is real, and caught myself one point in practice, wasn't paying attention because I was like, dang, I'm a Patriot. I got back to work quickly, but it's levels to it, and like I said, I'm enjoying it. It's obviously I know this ain't heaven, but it's close to it.
It's like I was out there. Odds to win the AFC. These are Josh, these are updated odds?
Yes.
Pretty low
Yeah.
for the
Fourth.
defending conference.
This is pre-Wild's take. Ravens, Bills, Chiefs 3, Patriots 4, Chargers.
Just ahead of the Chargers.
Who we beat. I mean, that does make sense. We beat those other two teams.
Ahead of the Broncos, too.
Honestly, if I was...
I assume the
The
Broncos.
Broncos got to be a little
I'd be upset.
salty.
They're not
even
Jalen
in the
Waddle.
graphic.
Okay. Does the AFC run through New England?
Absolutely not. Listen, I like the move.
All right.
I think it's a good move. I think they paid a little more than you wanted to pay because you didn't want to pay a first, but for some reason, because it's a 2028 first, people don't care as much.
I'll be here.
Exactly. Like, who knows? Maybe the NFL changed the rules by then.
With AI,
NBA
you
changed
know.
the
gosh,
draft.
it'd be lonely with a robot.
playing.
But I think that this is, at the very least, in the short term, a net positive for the Patriots. Now, by the time that 2028 first-round pick, whomever that is for the Eagles, is playing real snaps in the NFL, will A.J. Brown still be an elite receiver? I don't know. So in a few years, maybe the Eagles will be happy they did it and the Patriots potentially won't be. But in the short term, I think this helps them.
Yep.
But I think Vegas is correct in that for a number of reasons. One is, just for us at the table, I personally would be, and maybe you guys feel differently about the Chiefs than I do, more shocked if the Ravens, Bills, or Chiefs missed the playoffs this year than the Patriots.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
I would be more shocked by either of them. And I know the Chiefs just missed the playoffs. I get that, so you might disagree. but especially given the fact that it looks like Mahomes is on track to be healthy-ish at least to start the year. Those three teams, even though the Ravens and Chiefs, I guess the Ravens also missed the playoffs, both had down years. I would be more shocked if they went 8-9 and missed the playoffs, and if the Patriots went 8-9 and missed the playoffs. I also think that the track record of making the Super Bowl and not winning it, if you haven't won one before, is not littered with teams that got right back there. In fact, the last 8 quarterbacks to make a Super Bowl there and not win it when they hadn't won one before, the only guy
hadn't won one before.
Yeah, so Brady and Mahomes lost and got back and won. Manning lost, but he had already won one. I only did the last 8 years, but we could go back the last 30 years, and we haven't had a quarterback lose their first Super Bowl and ever get back to it.
Wow.
And so,
other than Hurts.
Yeah, right. Other than Jalen Hurts,
Wow. He's the only one in 30 years.
Only one to make it, and prior to that it was Jim Kelly who just kept making it but never won one. Hurts made it and won it. Yeah. So do I think there is? And again,
that's like very QB specific.
That is QB specific.
But not like coach specific. You could take people off.
Not really. They made it, but they didn't. Yes, you could. The Rams, because the Rams made it and then lost and then made it with a new quarterback.
Yeah.
The Niners made it and lost and then made it and lost again, but with a new quarterback. I just think, Brew, it is certainly on the board that the 2025 Patriots are closer to the 2015 Panthers, who had an MVP at quarterback and lost the Super Bowl, the 2016 Falcons, who had an MVP at quarterback and lost the Super Bowl, who were then good consistently for the next few years, but didn't get back anytime sooner in those two cases at all. The Bengals, that's been more injury related to me, maybe, but so I just don't think making one Super Bowl means definitively the conference runs through you.
You definitely got better.
Thank you.
Obviously, he's a great receiver, and you needed like a true bona fide number one, and you have it. All right. That said, Nick is absolutely right. Absolutely not. It does not run through you guys. And here's the thing. Last year, I'm going to talk about the schedule. Last year, you played 3 teams in the regular season with winning records. You lost 2 of them. This year, you got 11 teams on your schedule that had a winning record last year. And one of the teams that doesn't have a winning record is the Chiefs.
Okay.
So, and then your first 4, now Pittsburgh I think you'll beat, but the first 4
they're
are
underdogs
teams with
in
winning
3 of
records.
those 4. I looked this morning.
Yeah, so I think the Patriots had to get better, and they did, I believe. They had to, though, because of the increase in the schedule. Now, AJ, look, I think, like I said, it was a great pickup, but Drake is going to have to get used to a receiver that is like maybe badgering him to get the ball. I want the ball, and I'm sure he's going to throw it to him a ton, but he's going to let him hear it if he doesn't. Now, Vrabel, you would think can be a nice, work with AJ, and I'm sure he will. However, when AJ was in Tennessee with Vrabel, he wasn't this AJ Brown. He was a 2nd-round draft pick who made 1 Pro Bowl in 3 years. He was just emerging, but he wasn't viewed as an elite receiver at that point yet. And now he's a superstar, and we know what his number one item on his agenda is. Stats. It's not the Super Bowl.
Dominating the opponent.
Yeah. Numbers. Right. All right. It's not the gold jacket is what he's playing for. So, I think they got better. I think Baltimore, the Chargers, and the Bills are better. Like I put them ahead of the Patriots right now. But, I would expect. I think they do have a chance though to win the division. I'll give you that.
Thank you.
A chance.
Wilds, you don't need to put out anyone else's candle to make yours.
No, go ahead.
Don't make fun of the Ravens or the Bills or the Chiefs. Let's talk about the Patriots. I think the Patriots actually have accomplished 3 of the 4 things that I wanted to accomplish. Okay? Number 1, as you said, we needed a number 1 wide receiver. We got it. We had last year, Stephon Diggs had 1,000 yards, and it was over the moon. A.J. Brown had 1,006 yards, and he was furious.
Yeah.
Before A.J. Brown, the last 1,000-yard receiver the Patriots had was Julian Edelman in, I think, 2019.
Before Stephon Diggs.
Before Stephon Diggs. So it's been a long gap. We were thrilled with Stephon. He's obviously better than Stephon. That has been accomplished. 2, we upgraded the line. That was a major issue in the playoffs.
Yeah, you did.
He was sacked. Drake Maye was sacked 21 times. It was a record. Bad. Will Campbell's his knee is fixed.
And he's moving.
Healthy. No, he's not moving positions. Elijah Tucker's there. Drafted Caleb Lomu. Hopefully that goes well. As to the Super Bowl hangover part, and I didn't dig into every one, but I was just trying to found some big things. One, in continuity with the coaching staff. Vrabel gave us a little bit of a scare, but he is still there. Josh McDaniels is there. Terrell Williams is moving to assistant head coach. Zach Kerr is there. Eagles, when they lose Shane Steichen, supernatural funk. 49ers lose Saleh. That they get a little bit funkier on defense. The other part about Super Bowl hangover, and I don't know, this is just a knock on wood thing, it's just injuries. We saw the Chiefs get derailed by injuries. 49ers get derailed by injuries. That's like CMC's
fair.
usage.
Yep.
If we're healthy, I feel like we're okay. I don't know why all of a sudden the Ravens got a lot better. We did beat the Ravens last year. The Bills, we beat the Bills every year, but maybe they got a little bit better with DJ Moore.
Coach, you know.
And Chiefs are the Chiefs.
You beat the Bills every year. What do you mean?
We always split with the Bills.
Oh, okay.
We're just going to split. We've split with the Bills since the Mac Jones era.
Okay. I didn't realize.
Maybe not
that.
every year.
I didn't.
We split, but I'm not. We're not afraid of.
No,
the
I don't think, and I don't think you should be. Here is the thing that I am not trying to harp on last year's schedule, but if you remember, KW, when we were doing our preseason picks, you made I vividly remember you talking about how many games the Patriots were favored in. Do you remember? And it was crazy. It was like 14 games.
Yeah, but our over/under was only 8.5.
Right. You were bothered by the fact that they were not bothered, but you thought it was curious that your over/under was so much lower than the games you were favored in.
I turned out being right.
And you did. You were right that the games you were favored in was more indicative of your success than over/under.
Yeah.
Throw up the Pats schedule again, because here is the tough truth about this upcoming schedule. You guys are favored in all your home games. And every single game that's not in Gillette, that is not against the Jets or the Dolphins, you're underdogs. You are underdogs against Seattle, Jacksonville, Buffalo, Chicago, the Chargers, the Chiefs, and the Lions in Germany. So you go from having a season where you're favored in almost every game to a season where you're underdogs in almost half of them. That to me,
that's
7.
Yeah, so 10-7, I wouldn't be like.
But then the
conference,
conference, right? But then,
then
the conference definitively doesn't run through you, because the conference doesn't run through a 10-17.
I'm just saying, I'm not going to 10-7.
10-7, you would.
I'm not going to be
sign up.
No, I'm just not. I'm not going to I'm not signing up for it. I'm not going to have a nervous
10-7,
breakdown.
you might not make the playoffs. If you go 10-7 and miss the playoffs, you're not upset.
No, I'm
and
trying.
AJ's a year older.
What do you want me to say?
No.
14-3. I'm saying if we're I'm not going to freak out if we're at 10-7.
So then that answers right. And by the way,
is that a 14 win? I think 14 wins with this schedule would be wild.
It would be incredible.
No, but I think that I don't. For the record, tell me if I'm wrong. It's not the toughest schedule in the league. It's not.
No, it's like it's actually kind of like middle
a little above average in difficulty.
Yeah.
Right. So there'll be a 13 or 14 win team with a schedule as tough, if not tougher than that. And so the point, I think we're all on the same page. You just didn't, and so want to acknowledge it, that the Patriots have established themselves as a legitimate team. They're a legitimate year-over-year, depending on how big the pie is, contender. And as long as they have Drake Maye and Vrabel and they keep adding smart moves like A.J. Brown, they're going to be in the mix. In the mix it might go 10-7, and it's not the worst thing.
Yeah.
That is a big leap from being the definitive favorite in the conference, which is what I think Brew and I were responding to.
Yeah, I would like to say that we're the definitive, defending AFC champions, I want to have a heavy dose of reality check before I get on my high horse and start prancing around. At the same time, I'm not sure what we do poorly. Like, I can point out a lot of flaws, and maybe there's one I'm just not thinking of, but the defense is solid. We can run the ball. We have a great quarterback.
The things you did.
Oh, my 3 out of 4 thing, we have to sign Christian Gonzalez. If Christian Gonzalez is a long holdout or something,
I don't think that'll happen. I think
so
he'll.
either.
No, but I mean,
so secondary's good. I'm like, what's the big flaw of our team?
Well, last year was you guys didn't play well against the best teams. And you think it's going to be...
I don't know. We played well against the Chargers and the Broncos in the snow.
The Broncos to me weren't the best team when you played them.
Oh, we played. We played.
Gave you the ball.
That's fine. And so,
they were the best defensive team I've ever seen in my life until we scored 3 touchdowns.
No, I don't think, maybe you disagree, I don't think you guys played your best football against the best teams. A lot of that was the inability to protect Drake Maye. You are just assigning that as fixed in a way. That was the one thing on your checklist. You spent resources on it. Yeah. I don't know if it's fixed yet. The jump you're getting, I would think Brew and I would expect you to be getting a bigger jump going from Diggs to A.J. Brown than you would be expecting, because you were, as I think, the highest person in the national media on Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
So I think it feels like you went from like the 9th best receiver in football in your mind last year, Stephon Diggs, to the 6th best in A.J. Brown. You don't have them both.
Well, I don't know.
You lost one, got the other.
Maybe. I'm not writing off Stephon Diggs yet. Stephon Diggs and AJ's.
Wow, that'd be impressive.
No, Drake Maye's passer rating when he's target Stephon was out of this world.
Right, and you guys cut him.
Well, let's see if Drake.
I mean, that's what happened. I mean, if you bring him back, you bring him back. You cut him.
We'll see what happens.
That's the key.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you consider Drake a top 5 quarterback?
I want to see it more than 1 year. We've seen enough guys have one big year and then fall off. Young guys. I think he can be, but I want to see it. That's the key for you guys.
Obviously winning the AFC. Meanwhile, in Philadelphia, the Eagles lose their number 1 wide receiver. They get a 2028 first, a 5th next year, and a new start for Jalen Hurts. Here's A.J. Brown on his former quarterback.
Not as close as we once were. And I believe that's fine. It's like there's no bad blood. There's actually still a lot of love. I love him. I love him to death. I want him to succeed and accomplish all the things that he wants to accomplish. You know, we haven't been as close as we were a couple years now, but that didn't stop anything. Mm-hmm. You know, we still competed. We still pushed each other. We still led the team.
That's the issue. All right, not a lot of data on Jalen Hurts without A.J. Brown. Only 9% of the 9% of the plays last year.
He cooked without him, though.
But off-field, he's 5-0 with a passer rating of 115. It's just a little slice. Do you expect Hurts to take a step forward or back without
Well,
A.J.
look, I think he'll be fine without A.J. I think their receiving core is still good. We'll see what the rookie Mekhi Lemon can do, but he's strong. You know, he's in the slot. He can do stuff on the middle of the field. He can run after the catch. So you think he'd be pretty productive. They obviously added a few other guys, Hollywood Brown, Devontae's your number 1. I'm kind of expecting the Eagles to take a step back, not so much because of A.J., because I think the receiving core is fine. Mm-hmm. I think they're asking Jalen to do a lot of other things. Like, he's going to be under center a lot more with Sean Mannion as the OC. They want him to throw over the middle more than he has in the past. So I just think there are a lot of other things they're asking him to do. And if I don't know, I got to be honest, I'm not sure if he's going to take a burst forward or a step back. I just think if it's a step back, it's not because AJ's not there. I think it'll be a relief for him not to have somebody in your ear all the time, complaining, going to the media, sitting on the sideline, being a distraction, things like that. Mm-hmm. So I think he'll be fine if he can make the adjustments they want him to make. And if the offensive line is improved a little bit over last year, and if Saquon can have another season. But I think he'll be fine without AJ. I don't think he'll miss him at all.
This is your guy, or is he still your guy?
You know what? It was a harder statistical story last year. I wonder if this is a question about scheme and throwing the ball, or is it a vibes question?
See, I think it's both. Go ahead.
The vibes have to be better. No
I
matter
would think
any
the vibes
way
would
you
be
slice
much
it, the vibes were bad last year. Just a lot of furrowed brow, a lot of, that just is not winning football. The other thing that kind of gets lost in the A.J. Brown story, rushing yards last year for the Eagles. Well, I'll go all there. 2022, they were 5th. 2023, they were 9th. 2024, they were 2nd. They ran the ball for 179 yards a game. And then last year, they were 18th, 160.
Some of that, a little bit of that, most of that was Saquon going from one of the greatest years ever to a mediocre year.
Yep.
Some of that was Jalen not running as much.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the reasons they were,
we'll see if
when
he
they
ever
were
can do that
5th in 2022, Saquon wasn't there.
Yeah. But they're a running team, and that opens it all up. So if that goes away.
Well, can he run like he used to? That is a big question.
Can he, and is he willing to? So I agree with Brew that I don't know if he'll take a step forward or step back, but I do know that this will be a wildly important year to understand not only what actual level of quarterback Jalen Hurts is, but also how the Eagles actually feel about him. Because I think I was the most ardent that they should have traded him a year ago, A.J. Brown, and when they didn't trade him not a year ago, they're coming off Super Bowl. But they should have traded him at the trade deadline, that this moment the season ended, I said he can't be back on the team next year. I think they had to make that move. With that said, I am not certain making the move fixes the locker room, because there is a percentage of my brain that believes, man, A.J. Brown was just the mouthpiece for how a lot of people felt. And
There's been
that
some
there
reporting
and it seemed, and I felt that way before some of the reporting came out, and then there seemed to be, the long form ESPN article about how the front office views Jalen, other things, where I do wonder, could vibes go in the wrong direction because either A, instead of one guy saying a lot, it's a lot of guys saying a little kind of passive-aggressive stuff, or if the locker room feels, no one in the locker room feels comfortable kind of releasing that tension valve by saying it, and it all just simmers the whole time. I'm not predicting that. I'm saying I think it is, if the whole locker room was Team Jalen, AJ wouldn't have been as popular as he was in the midst of it all. So I think that is a real aspect of this that has to be acknowledged as possibility. The more X's and O's piece is, the Eagles now, to me, for the first time since Jalen Hurts has been like the clear-cut, the guy there, have a good but not great supporting cast around him. They still have 2 first-round picks at receiver. They still have Saquon. They still have a good offensive line. It's still clearly above average.
And the defense still has
I'm only talking about the offense, because I think overall roster, it's well above. It's a really good roster. But just on as far as personnel to help him, it's, it's the 9th best in the league. The offense outside the quarterback, whatever. I'm making up the numbers, somewhere in there. So you're going to get a fair gauge on Jalen Hurts when he's approaching when you would need a new contract, when he's approaching when the Eagles have in the past potentially pivoted. You're going to find out, and I think that's one of the reasons they wanted Sean Mannion to make him run a more almost sophisticated, new age NFL style offense. Be like, hey, at some point you're not going to have a future potential Hall of Fame running back. You're not going to have multiple in their prime first-round picks at receiver. You're not always going to have this great offensive line. Let's see what you can do with less easy buttons to see if we want you to be the guy for the next 7 years. I think all of that is going to come out this season, which is why I said yesterday that the Eagles have the biggest variance of any team in the league. They're the only team in the league that if you gave me the right odds, I would bet on them to finish with the best record in football, and if you gave me the right odds, I would bet on them to finish below 500. It has that wide of a variance where I think both of those are very viable outcomes.
I do think it's important for people to understand, including the Eagles, he's different. Like, he's not going to go out there and look like Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
He can win, but they're going to need the running game to be strong. and he's not going to throw for 290 yards a game. You know what I mean? So he can be successful. Yeah, as long as he's winning and the offense isn't as stagnant as last year, then that could be an improvement regardless of how high his numbers are.
All right, our NBA Finals picks are next on FS1 and the Fox Sports Channel on Sirius XM.
This is what everyone's talking about.
Everything's on the table.
This is what champions come to take. This is what everyone came to see.
And the slam!
No do-overs. No second chances. No more Mr. Nice Guy. This is winner take all. And it's all happening now on the home of the NBA Finals. Don't miss it. June 3rd on ABC and the ESPN app.
We are only 9 days away from the World Cup. And the news is that First Things First is moving to 10 a.m. so you can watch the show and all the World Cup games. Didn't want to put you in a bad spot.
Correct.
Be at a bar, crowded bar, and be like, actually, I want to watch First Things First. Would be a bad look. So we moved the show to 10 a.m. You can watch the show and watch all the games.
Show will re-air in its regular time slot, but we are in the mornings. This is one of the only time slots we haven't been in. The 10 a.m. 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. is the one part of the clock this show hasn't been on ever.
Depending where you live.
Eastern. We're talking Eastern. Yeah, not Faroe Island time.
Well, a lot of times, I'm sure. Where is it on at 10 a.m.?
Right now?
Overseas.
The Aleutian Islands.
Is that real?
Why? What time is it in Hawaii,
overseas.
Josh?
Hawaii, I think, is 3 hours earlier.
No, it's not. That's how.
No, 3 hours earlier than the West Coast, I meant. I apologize.
So 6 hours. Oh, it's 9:29 a.m.
Yeah.
Our friends in Maui.
So it's 6 hours, yeah.
Wake up, have a cup of coffee, watch First Things First.
KW, that's what's happening now. Now, for our friends in Maui, this is a disaster. That'll start at 4 a.m. for them. Why are you?
Wake up earlier. See the sunrise?
We'll be the midday show if you're an East Coaster. We'll be your morning show if you're a West Coaster. If you're from the best time zone, Central Time Zone, nice midday show.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
We probably could have done that better.
I thought it exhibited our chemistry and personality. Knicks are in San Antonio, game 1 tomorrow night. Spurs are favored, but history not on their side, bro.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because of the game.
Here's the scenario that helps New York. If you swept your opponent while the other side of the bracket went to 7, you won the NBA Finals 5 times. You lost twice. So, Brew, we'll start with you. Not necessarily with the who you got, more the why.
Well, both.
And how.
He could throw it. He could throw a monkey wrench.
New York is kind of my hometown now.
Yeah.
This
I mean,
guy
I
is
could definitely go with the
Definitely could.
Knicks.
And if they win, you still deserve credit.
I mean, yeah,
Strong
according to the bylaws, I get to bask.
Go
and
ahead.
float
Yes,
if they win.
exactly.
But no, I am sticking with the Spurs. I've been the Spurs guy
The whole
since
time.
Wemby entered the league.
This is true.
Right?
Yeah.
And been mocked for some of my takes.
Yep.
You haven't been mocked
for
Yes, he
saying
has.
they would
He
win
went viral.
win the West and get to the finals.
He went viral for saying, I think the quote was, Akeem Olajuwon's a phony baloney.
No. But now everyone agrees with me.
right.
It's only Hakeem who's awesome.
Yes.
It's a disappointment. But anyway, I got the Spurs in 7. 7.
Wow.
And I said last week, and it's true, I'm more concerned about the Knicks entering this series. Now, obviously,
You got
as that
concerned.
series went on, I got more concerned about OKC. But I'm more concerned entering this series about the Knicks than I was about OKC. Maybe I'm overthinking the regular season matchups where Knicks were 2-1. But I like the Spurs for several reasons. One, I get it, the Knicks are more rested, and the Spurs not only had a tough 7 against OKC, but a tough 6 against Minnesota. But look, this is what you play for. I mean, forget fatigue, all right? And they did get 3 days rest, which I think meant a lot between Game 7 and Game 1 tomorrow. I think Wemby, now there were times obviously where he was awesome, and then sometimes where he was not disengaged, but not, his motor didn't seem as high. I don't know if that'll continue or not, but I think he's just a problem for him. I think, one, he could get Karl Anthony Towns in foul trouble.
That's a concern.
Yeah, if Cat guards him. And Mitchell Robinson, I fully expect to play. I think he'll be fine for the most part, but he's only going to give you 15 minutes or so a game anyway, right? And so if Cat gets in foul trouble, that's a problem. Now, Cat probably won't guard Wemby a ton. I think you'll see OG Anunoby on him at times.
Yep.
And then I think Wemby, it's on him, but he's got to exploit that size advantage. All right, so I think he's going to be tough for them offensively. And then defensively, the Knicks have lived in the paint in the postseason, almost 60 points a game in the paint. Obviously, Wemby can change that. And they'll try to say, well, Cat can draw him outside. I don't think Wemby's going to spend a ton of time on Cat.
Guarding Josh Hart.
Yeah.
Josh Hart's
got to hit.
I'm the unanimous defensive player who's going to be guarding me. He's
right. I mean, he's going to have to be hitting his threes because if not, Wemby can roam and then wreak havoc and keep the Knicks out of the paint. Finally, Nick, I think they have got defenders that can make it tough on Jalen Brunson.
Yep.
Stephon Castle obviously gave his SGA some problems. Dylan Harper. And, they got a host of guys, so Wemby backing him up. So I think for those reasons, I like the Spurs.
So I don't know if really anybody gives Jalen Brunson a ton of trouble. Certainly some more than others. But I think Jalen Brunson, particularly in the playoffs, particularly in big moments in the playoffs, has earned my ultimate respect. Also, I would like to correct the record on something.
Okay.
Have my playoff picks been good? No.
Not bad, though.
No,
one's been
but
bad.
I have been smeared with this flip-flopper label that the record does not reflect. I have picked before the playoffs the Celtics to win the championship.
Okay.
They lost in round one. I did not pick another champion until we were the day before the start of the Eastern Conference Finals, and I said the Knicks are winning the title. I have 2 champion picks on my record, and I only had to switch because my team lost in round one. I had no other choice. Now, have I picked different series? Of course. It's part of the show. We're picking things right now. I'm going to be held to account for not being able to see the future? Sorry, I'm not Oz the mentalist. I got
to be honest, though, Nick.
Yes.
I, with all due respect,
Here we go.
I think Knicks fans would be much happier if you're about to say Spurs.
I'm switching?
Yeah, I mean, there hadn't been a great
I've got
postseason
good news for Knicks fans. I'm with you to the end. Knicks in 6. Listen, Brew alluded to it, and again, the sample size is tiny, but they did play 3 times this year. Mm-hmm. One of them was a regular season game plus something because it was for a trophy. Even if it's a small trophy or a banner they won't hang.
The Spurs feel some kind of way about
that.
It was something.
Get back.
Right, for sure. And we know Wemby started a lifelong blood feud with Chet over a tournament loss. Maybe he's going to do the same.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to start have an issue with Cat.
He
should.
With Cat?
So this was what their
Chet.
head-to-head season matchup went. And again, the paint points per game, the Knicks found a way. Yes, they hit threes. There's no doubt about it. But 46 paint points per game, they found a way. The other piece of it, and this is where the 9-day layoff for the Knicks, is rest versus rust for the media as well.
Yeah.
I think they are back to being a touch underrated because it's been a while since we saw them just dog walk somebody. But every team in NBA history that was on this type of heater going into the finals, you know what they did? Won the damn finals. And the last 3 won the finals easily. The 87 Lakers won the finals in 6. And again, my pick is Knicks in 6. I do not think there's going to be an easy series. But the Knicks did just complete, statistically, the most dominant month of playoff basketball ever. They are playing a brand of offense where simply shutting down Jalen Brunson doesn't necessarily achieve the defense's goal. They are Mitchell Robinson's pinky notwithstanding, I think pretty clearly the healthier team. Mm-hmm. They don't have, nobody else is dealing with nagging stuff. OG missed that time but looked totally fine coming back from it. The advanced numbers that I'm not even going to show them because I don't know that I even totally buy/understand them exactly. They swear that over the last 2 years, nobody has had more success guarding Wemby than OG. which is
he did a great
noteworthy. And then there is this element of Wemby over the course of the postseason. You know where I feel like the fatigue has shown up? His rebounding. So, first 10 games, 14 rebounds a game. We threw out the 2 games he barely played. The last 5, 7. Cat has been a tremendous rebounder, and on a per-minute basis, Mitchell Robinson is an excellent rebounder.
Especially on the offensive end.
Right, and so all of those things tilt to me, the Knicks, and I do think that there is an emotional toll for the Spurs that will show up in Game 1, and I expect the Knicks to steal home court immediately. I think that there is, it seems like the type of story you would love. The level of emotion Wemby showed after winning the conference finals hit my radar when you compared it to the Knicks.
Too much?
It was just, I understood it. They're all so young. They've never been to the finals. The Thunder, the defending champs, it was a 7-game series. For the Knicks, there wasn't really place for the emotion. They won that series in Game 2. You know, and so, but it did feel like a catharsis for the Spurs that I don't know they're going to be able to immediately get up to speed for Game 1.
I think Game 1 is going to be incredibly telling. Like, if the Knicks look like they've been looking and beat them, I'm not even saying 25 points, but beat them fairly handily by 10 or so, 12, then that could be tough.
What speaks to your favor, though?
If the Spurs look great and the Knicks, they nullify a lot of what the Knicks have been doing.
Yeah.
But remember, the last time the Knicks had this type of layoff, for the first 40 minutes of that game, they looked awful.
Yeah.
The last time the Knicks had a giant layoff and the other team was coming off an emotional 7-game series was Game 1 against the Cavs.
And
they're down 22 with 8 minutes left, and then the Knicks surge back. They would not be able to surge back against.
Right.
NBA.
So who you got?
Knicks in 6.
Really? You just repeat what Nick said, or that you believe that's your pick?
That's what we got tickets to. NBA Finals history is a place where superstars shine and X factors etch their name into the history books. Andre Iguodala, Robert Horry, Steve Kerr, the player. Who is your X factor for this series?
Well, Cat, and maybe you view him as a star, so he's not an X factor. But I'm just saying he can't get silly fouls. Can't get an early. If he's guarding Wemby, don't get one of those early silly fouls. That's huge. And if they got a small on him, he's got to exploit him with his size. Now, he might do it occasionally, but he needs to do it more consistently if they put Julian Champagnie or somebody on him. But if you want to say he's a star, I'm going to say Josh Hart, because if Hart is not hitting the 3, now maybe they'll throw Shamet in if Hart's just off, but that'll hurt you defensively. If Hart is not hitting the 3 and he allows Wemby to kind of stay near the paint and roam, that's going to be a problem for the Knicks. And I'll give you one for each team. I think for the Spurs, it's Champagnie.
I knew you were going to say that.
Because it's a similar thing. He's going to have to hit the 3. And so, because I think Cat may be on him. They're going to try to hide Cat and Brunson. Can you hide them both? I think that's a problem for the Knicks. Because the Spurs, when they first played the Knicks early in the season, Nick, they weren't that good of a three-point shooting
team. They were still starting Barnes, right? That was before they made that
I think
change.
One of the games Champagnie may have started. But yeah, Champagnie's been much better than Barnes. Champagnie's hitting 39% of his threes in the regular season. Josh Hart, by the way, only hitting 30% of his threes in the playoffs.
I disagree with you that, I disagree with you that Josh Hart has to hit threes. I think if Josh Hart hits threes, the Knicks win. The Knicks will win every game Josh Hart has a hot shooting night.
Yeah.
I think that the Spurs are going to give Josh Hart shots. Yeah. I think a lot of nights he'll turn them down and they'll try to find better shots. That is a piece of it. But I don't look at this as, if Josh Hart's not hitting threes, they can't win.
Well, I think that, like you said, as long as he has some games, he don't have to hit them all 7 games or whatever.
He had one awesome shooting game in the previous.
He's wide open.
2 weeks.
That was the plan.
Yeah, Cleveland's a bad defensive team too.
If I have to say a player, my player is OG, because I do think OG is going to be the one guarding Wemby.
Yeah.
And I think that OG is he didn't make it. I don't know if you voted him or not.
I voted him second team.
Yeah, I mean, he's first team all-defense caliber, in my opinion. Certainly an all-defense caliber guy.
He didn't make second team?
No, I was going to say he didn't make first team.
Okay.
He's long, he's strong, and I do think I could see him pushing Wemby out a little further than the Spurs would like him to be, and I do not think he is a guy that as a rookie, when he was with the Raptors, I remember listening to a Zach Lowe podcast, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, whenever it was, talking about how he had talked to someone in the Raptors front office, and they were like, yeah, we drafted this guy because we think he can guard LeBron James. Peak LeBron, rookie OG Anunoby, good luck, good luck to him. So he's been through the playoff fires. Wemby's not going to be able to, I think, wage psychological warfare on him the way he did Chet. If it doesn't have to be a player, KW, my answer is the Madison Square Garden crowd.
Oh, that's good.
Which is home court advantage when we were kids mattered so much more in sports than it feels it matters now.
Right.
It felt like buildings had life. They intimidated refs. They intimidated other teams, all of that. I don't know, with all the music that's played and everything that's going on, if that still exists in modern sports. If it does, it will be this Knicks crowd in the first NBA Finals in this city in a quarter century.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
It's the roof is going to come off. Afternoon headlines sponsored by Hilton Garden Inn. Hilton, it's for the stay. Oh, shoot. We planned on this. Myles Garrett is now on the Rams. That's good news. Who is stopping the Rams?
KW doesn't
Sorry.
have his
You know what? I took a day off.
This is a Ron Burgundy moment. Y'all think KW's so sharp and
I know
quick.
it's biggest
He
threat.
all of a sudden doesn't have something
Don't
bring
get
in
into
front
my
of him.
ear.
Here's the other teams, KW. There's
Here's some
words
other
you
great
can read.
teams in the NFC, okay? But the Rams are the best. They were the best before Myles Garrett. Now they got Myles Garrett.
Well, the
They're even better.
Seahawks are the best, right?
Well, don't ask me. But if you win the Super Bowl, seems like you should be favored. And if you're in second place, feels like you shouldn't be in fourth place, for God's sakes. But that's Vegas. Who's the Rams' biggest threat?
Look, I think the division, first of all, is going to be tough.
Darn it.
I mean, Seattle has lost some guys, but they're still going to be good.
True.
But San Francisco, I think people might be sleeping on them, just because.
I'm one of those people.
Yeah, look, when they're healthy, historically under Kyle Shanahan, when they're healthy, they're good.
Yep.
They're a contender. And
They're rarely healthy,
Let's
though.
see it right. That's the problem. But if Bosa, Fred Warner, Trent Williams, it's like they're going for it now. I mean, they went out and got your boy Mike Evans.
Great
all right?
pickup.
Christian Kirk, I think, is a good third receiver, assuming Pearsall can stay healthy and be number 2. So I think they'll be tough. I'll go with the one team I'm going to go with, though, is Green Bay.
Oh, again, running it back.
Micah might be,
I think he's going to miss
4
the
weeks,
first
maybe first
quarter
4.
of the year, maybe more. Yeah.
They were 9-3-1 with him, then didn't win without him, once he got hurt. But if they can hold water between those, in those first 4 games, and I think they can. Their schedule's Minnesota, which could be tough, but then you got the Jets, Atlanta, and Tampa Bay. So if they can be like 3-1 and he can come back and kind of get going right away, I think they could be the biggest threat.
Yeah, so it's going to be the Seattle Seahawks. Like, when you look at their division, obviously, anytime you're in a really good division, and we know the NFC North, really good division, they beat up on each other last season. That'll probably, again, be the case this year. The same can be said in that NFC West. Right. When you talk about those 3 teams at the top, 49ers being one of those teams, obviously the Rams and the Seahawks. But a team that can pressure you up front without having to bring extra men, meaning a blitz, that is the team that can give you the biggest issues, and that has been the Seattle Seahawks. When you talk about their head coach being a defensive mind, he counters whatever you do if you're Sean McVay very well. We saw that last year. If they get the same type of play and or better out of Sam Darnold offensively, and they can have the offensive player of the year and a receiver that JSN, in terms of what he was able to do, a full year of the second guy, I'm drawing a blank on Rashid Shaheed, like in that offense. I know offensive coordinator change, we'll see what that looks like. I don't expect them to take a step back, a huge setback if they do. But this team is still ready to be the favorites in the NFC. I don't think they are the favorites because of all the names, obviously, but they're going to be a team that's going to challenge them every time that they strap up the uniform.
So this is, I said this yesterday, and I don't know if I explained my rationale well, so I'm going to take another run at it. Because when Bruce said the NFC West as a whole, I sighed because I was going to say something similar, but only in this regard. I do think that I do not think the Rams will lose a playoff game that is played in a dome or at SoFi. I think that again, barring the injuries derailing the season, I do think their build has been super smart. That last year, their one weakness was pass defense. Trent McDuffie, in my opinion, I know they said they're going to play him on the outside. Rams, don't do that. He's the best slot corner in the league. That is a premium position, but they paid him like he's going to play on the outside, so we'll see. Julian Watson can play on the outside, and Garrett can make it so they don't have to cover for all that long. So I think that plus Stafford, who just won MVP, all the weapons they have, that if the game is played on the terms McVay wants to play it, they're just going to have a skill edge considerably. The reason I was saying the NFC West is if the division can beat them up enough to where they have to go on the road in the playoffs, McVay's teams on the road in the playoffs, they have a good record. They have a lot of wins. But the win in New Orleans, that's a dome game. Win in Carolina, that was warm weather this year. Barely. Yeah. Right. Win in Tampa, again, that was the game against Brady where they had the huge lead. Brady came back, but it wasn't enough. Their losses at Green Bay, at Detroit, that's a dome fine. At Philly in the Saquon game where, again, they had a chance late, but their offense did nothing for the first 3 quarters, then they came.
Too cold.
And the Chicago game, people were like, oh, it's the coldest game ever. Yes, and that game was 17-17 going into overtime. Right. And then they obviously scored a bunch of points, lost in Seattle, the weather was fine. I just think they have built this team. It does remind me of the Polian Colts, which was, we got this great quarterback, great passing attack. We're going to unleash our pass rushers and pass defense. Okay, if you don't have the lead, or if a team can run the ball, or if the weather makes it to where it's more of a ground and pound game, I think their running game is fine. I think their run defense is fine. I think everything involving passing they're going to be elite at. So I think in a weird way, their regular season is, even for an SBOB team, more important than most of the other contenders.
They open up their season in Australia against the 49ers in 100 days. Coming up next, the grand reopening of Club Superstar. Who's in, who's out, and who's dancing the night away?
It's time to get live.
Time to represent.
Live from New York, it's a show that has a disco ball that we might install permanently. It's the second hour of First Things First. Club Superstar just around the corner, bro.
Yeah, I'm excited.
We used to dress up for this. We kicked around dressing up.
We did that once when we were in boxes.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Tried to wear.
I didn't try
sweater
to. Kyle
did you wear?
Kuzma. Remember he did get a long.
Yeah.
Now the guy's a financial wizard.
Kyle Kuzma is?
That's what he says.
What's he up to?
AI stocks.
I mean, that's everybody, though.
I'm telling you. I don't
Crypto?
know. I think so.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. Who knows? God bless him. Make
Yeah.
more money.
Today, is Drake Maye going to be even better this year?
I know exactly what these two dopes are going to say.
Well, sorry, he's number one in every category.
I know
What are you supposed to
they're
do?
going to say.
Meanwhile, Brew in a real bind when he hears about Mike Brown's plan to stop Wemby. But right now, an ode to my fourth favorite, Stefan, Club Superstar. If you're in the mood for a club where jerseys are not banned, they're actually mandatory, then I've got just the place for you. Managed by a poker-playing grandfather with a penchant for purple velvet and nicotine patches, New York's hottest club is Club Superstar. Set in an unmarked Hell's Kitchen warehouse next to a team of sweaty hunks chatting with interactive mirrors, this club has everything. Greek freaks, Serbian jockeys, a 41-year-old man wearing a crown. So let's hit the lights and learn who's invited to the grand opening of Club Superstar 5.0.
Great introduction, KW. So before we get to 5.0,
And welcome to security.
thank you.
Welcome, guys.
They're like the
They don't.
guys at Buckingham Palace.
Yes.
They're just very He got a job to do. Oh! Throwing me off. A quick trip down memory lane. Before we reveal it, the genesis of Club Superstar was a debate about one Jason Tatum.
This is like Knicks dressing room.
You know what?
Sorry.
Was he or was he not a superstar? And so I discussed one in, one out, and Club Superstar was born. 4 years ago this week, we had Club Superstar 1.0, and Anthony Davis had been kicked out. Jason Tatum was being welcomed in. He was officially in. And then you saw Ja, Giannis, Bron, Dame, Kawhi, Joker, Luka, KD, Chris Paul, Steph, and Joel Embiid. Those were the superstars, Club Superstar 1.0. 2.0 looked like this. Anthony Davis had snuck back in. The no firearms policy cost Ja his seat. And also there was I forget who else was new. It doesn't matter. That was 2.0. Chris Paul sadly also.
Look at SGA, not
had
even.
to go.
Is that SGA?
SGA was.
He's in the waiting in line.
No, SGA's
That's him
in
with the
line.
hair.
That was 3 years ago. 2 years ago, Club Superstar 3.0. Bunch of guys out. Dame, Book, Big Face Coffee. SGA makes his debut. Jalen Brunson, if you remember, Brew, that was our argument a couple years ago, whether or not Jalen Brunson deserved a spot in.
He was in.
And he was in, and Anthony Davis had snuck himself back in the club. Last year's edition of Club Superstar, Embiid and AD back out. AD, it's been a big back and forth in and out. I'm on the list. I'm at their table.
Is that was Şengün there?
That Şengün was in line.
Wow.
Man.
I bet he's
Cade
not in line.
Cunningham and
Happy
Victor
times.
Wembanyama were in line. Devin Booker was like, I used to be in here. Now I'm back in line. He wasn't in there. So now we get to Club Superstar 5.0. We will start with the folks in line.
Oh, that'll tell a lot.
Cooper Flagg, first ever rookie in line
Deserves
for the
it.
club.
Well, Wemby looks like he was.
Wemby was in line. Maybe he
Twice,
was.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, he was. Kawhi's there watering some trees. Tyrese Maxey feels like he might be a lifelong liner. Always in the mix.
Not quite.
And Jalen Brown is like, I've got a
Wow.
Twitch stream to do in there. Bouncer's saying no, not so fast. Jalen Brown not in.
Wow.
So those are the guys in line. We now brew.
Wow.
Don't do it yet.
You thought do you have a
You want to
line
say anything
issue?
about the guys in line?
Oh, you want me to?
Yeah,
oh,
go
so-
ahead, please.
No, look. I have basically the same guys you had.
Wow.
There were two. My line was long.
Okay, well,
I don't think this guy will be in the club.
Who?
He won't be. I threw Jamal Murray in line. In addition
been
to
in
those
the
guys.
line once.
Yeah, I mean,
He's not even in the
And I had an elite, super duper elder in line too, who I don't think will be in the
So
club.
hold on to that one.
Should I hold that?
Is it someone who's been in before?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh. Well, let's show who's been kicked out of the club. Wow. Kevin Durant.
That was who I had. I had him in line or kind
Yeah,
of
well, he can't be in line. He's being kicked out. He's also dropping 2 cell phones. He is out.
not one. Two.
I didn't like doing it. It felt like there
had
was
to
some.
be done.
You agree?
Yes.
Wow, I thought this was going to be the whole thrust of the argument.
I knew that when you mentioned a few days ago there's one that I knew, yeah.
Warrior fans were all yelling at me like, you're going to kick Steph out. No, I'm not kicking Steph out. Because here's the thing. Even if Steph's production has dropped some, and Durant's production seemingly hasn't, and he played, I think, 78 games, second league in minutes.
Made the playoff.
Right, all that. Durant's, in my opinion, to blame for that team's chemistry going to hell. And that's not, if you're gonna have that on your resume, then you certainly gotta be dominant in the biggest games as opposed to playing one of them and then getting shut down in the second half. So he's out. Kevin Durant's out.
I got no issues with that.
This is the one I wonder if you will have an issue with, though, Brew, because only 2 guys are out. Durant and Donovan.
Oh.
Show us who is still in. Tyrese Halliburton got to stay.
That's not. You can't do that.
So
I had Donovan in. I was battling between Donovan and Jalen Brown.
Okay, so well.
And I didn't consider Halliburton just because of the injury.
Yeah, so-
and I get it. I think he is a superstar.
So
but
obviously Jalen Brunson, there's no doubt. You want to talk here about this part?
Well, I just feel like would it have been better if Donovan popped his Achilles and didn't play at all, then he wouldn't have gotten swept.
Well,
the
so
sweep hurts. I get it.
The sweep hurts. Here's the other thing that as we're our 5th edition of Club Superstar, an element of being a superstar, I'm just batting this around. This isn't written in pen. Do I believe, beyond a shadow of a doubt, you can be the best player on a finalist? I do not believe that about Donovan Mitchell anymore. Tyrese Halliburton just did it.
I guess.
And
some
the
weird
fact,
way the
How
fact
much
that
did
they
you
stunk.
consider the injury?
Well, listen, the Jason Tatum, was not going to be thrown out if he missed the whole year. Now he has a more, a sturdier resume than Halliburton. I also, and you hate this, the Pacers being the worst team in the league helped Halliburton.
I mean, kind of.
I mean,
There was a little tanking.
And so Halliburton stays in,
Okay.
Donovan is out. Now we can show a few other rooms. These ones are not that surprising. Steph Curry, we can go to. He's still in, obviously. The other old guys in the club, and one middle-aged guy, if you will, we can go to them next. LeBron, the oldest guy, still in, not that pleased. Giannis, not that pleased. And you wonder if this image is going to be very dated in a month. If Giannis and LeBron will be in different jerseys. Luke is still throwing up the LA, but it's a little, it doesn't hit quite as much as last year. Brew, you had no problem with me leaving Giannis and LeBron in, correct?
No.
And
I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Can I say something about leaving LeBron in? Part of it is he's LeBron James. The other part of it is, though, I thought his performance once he had to become the number one option showed he still has, at least for stretches, superstar ability in him, even at age 41, year 23.
Not a debate. He's
Not-
never going. He's a
Okay.
lifetime pass for club superstar.
All right, next room, we can show you Jason Tatum hanging out, Achilles boot off. Then we have the MVP room. And by the way, I should have said this at the top. This is illustrated by Jack Perkins, who you can follow on Twitter at Pure Hoop. He does a great job. A little nice touch. Joker has 2 of the old MVP trophies and 1 of the new. SGA has both of the new because they changed how it works. And now are you ready for the reveal of the new guys? This next room has 1 guy who's been in there for a while and 2 new guys. Our new entrants to Club Superstar, Cade Cunningham and Victor Wembanyama. That's a wrecking ball because we had to raise some ceilings to fit Wemby in. They are the 2 newest guys to Club Superstar, and I think that's undeniable that those guys deserve to be in there. Obviously, Wemby. I guess the Cade Donovan thing could be a bit of a debate. I think Cade had a heavier lift.
Put Cade, yeah.
But we can now show the full club as a whole. And KW, you can give whatever critiques you have, and then Brew, you go ahead. Again, there's Wemby also. It's not only the wrecking ball had to make room for him. He's staring up at that MVP room saying, when am I going to be in there? That is, thanks to our guy, Pure Hoop on Twitter, Jack Perkins, Club Superstar 5.0.
Bonus take.
Wow.
If part of going to Club Superstar is being the best player on a finalist, that's why Halliburton's in there. Jalen Brown literally won Finals MVP, so he's got the hardware. If there's a Finals MVP room, he could be in there. He lost for most of the year his own version of Halliburton. Superstars popping their Achilles in the playoffs, but instead of tanking, Jalen Brown carried his team to the 2 seed, flamed out early, so be it. But I feel like if he's not getting in, then Club Superstar is just, the door is shut for him. That's bonus.
No. So hold on. No, I want to stay on your bonus take. Because this is the brilliance of Club Superstar.
Oh.
Those are great takes. What's the policy?
1 in, 1 out?
Yeah.
Halliburton didn't play.
Oh, you're just throwing Halliburton out. That's an easy one for you.
Yeah, he
Okay.
did. The guy didn't play. He had 0 points all year.
Yeah, and I would say, because I'm similar, Halliburton hasn't reached the stat, and I think he's great.
He hasn't reached stature of
where he's just in no matter what. Like Giannis, we don't have, and obviously Giannis played more than Halliburton,
Yeah.
but we don't have a problem with Giannis. But Halliburton hasn't reached that stature yet where he's just automatically in. That's my view.
Real take. You need some life up in the club.
We tried that with Ja. Didn't go.
That's swinging too far.
Josh shot up.
You just need a little bit of flair, you need some stardom. You need some star power. You need some panache. Yeah, I got several guys that are 35 plus in the club.
You got 140 plus.
Joker doesn't want to be there. He's going to be in the club.
We got the pari-mutuel.
You don't want
races
Joker in there?
I want him in there. I'm just saying I need to liven up the club a little bit.
Dylan Brooks?
Interesting, but no. Dust, can you roll the highlights of, I don't necessarily want him in the club, but if he's in line, the bouncers are like, oh, you know what?
The bouncer's nervous.
No, club's getting a little dry. Why don't we just liven this place up a little bit? And also, again, I'm looking for, it's called Club Superstar. It's not called
Club Efficiency. No, club wins over replacement.
Jersey sales, one of my favorite stats.
Dog it.
In the club, 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 top 8. In line, in the club, out
Just
the
kicked
club,
out.
in line. I don't know thoughts on
It's
Booker.
15th
in
is
the
your
club,
argument?
He should be in the mix. I'm just saying he should be in the mix.
So you're.
This is the world. The NBA fans have spoken. He should be in the mix, just in line. I don't even want him in the club, but he should be in line. That is club superstar. What do you mean? Made it to the playoffs.
He could be in the neighborhood. He's maybe at a restaurant down the street.
No, he should just be in
can't
line. He should be in line. And I was like, oh.
Someone texted him the address. He went to the wrong place. He's like, "Where are you guys?"
He can't be in line.
Brew, because then I have a recap. But do you have? It seems like you and I were on a similar
pretty
page.
Similar. I love that you have Cooper Flag in line. I think next year he might have to kick somebody out and be in there. Our only difference was I was battling, I had Donovan Mitchell instead of Tyrese Halliburton for the same reasons as Wiles' injury. And I was really debating between Jalen Brown and Donovan Mitchell. Obviously, Brown has won a championship, been Finals MVP, but Mitchell acquitted himself well in the playoffs. I know he had some ups and downs, but I can't really blame him for a lot of what went on. I still think he's a superstar. So that's my only beef, though.
Dust, can we flip-flop our next two full screens? Can we show the previous guys first? So here is the list of guys that have been in previously and are no longer in. So this is, on the fringe. By the way, for the first time ever, we have a former club superstar member who has hit the retirement. Chris Paul, retired.
Yeah.
John Morant obviously feels as far away as Chris Paul, even though Chris Paul's retired. Jimmy Butler seems ages away. Of the guys on that list, I think there's only 2 guys that I could realistically see getting back in. I don't know. For me, it's Devin Booker and Donovan.
Yep.
Is there anyone?
I don't know if Booker will get back in, but it's possible. It's definitely possible. Definitely Donovan.
I want to believe.
Dame?
No. I'm going to put
reclamation. Yeah, it'd be great.
I'm looking at he's got superstar
Absolutely.
aura.
Yeah.
And ability.
His
game, he needs to work on his shooting. I mean, that's something he definitely, it's not just about getting back to who he was. He does need to become a much better shooter.
And, Bruce, since the All-NBA lists no longer, care about the history of the award where you don't have to do it by position, and the NBA doesn't have an all-decade team the way the NFL does, I'm just throwing out there. We show the current guys in Club Superstar and how many years they've been in it. There's something to be said for, have you been in Club Superstar every year of its existence? I'm not saying it has to go on your basketball reference page.
It should.
But it's not nothing. And that is a pretty good running of the 2020s in the NBA. Well, Giannis won one of the titles, Joker won one of the titles, Bron won one of the titles, Luka went to a finals, Steph won one of the titles, Tatum won one of the titles. Those are the only 6 guys who have been in the club every year of its existence. Brunson, Shea, have been on it the last 3 years. Ant and Halliburton the last 2, and the 2 newest guys, Cade and Victor Wembanyama. Last question for you guys. Aside from Halliburton, who should be most, if next year, let's say Cooper Flagg gets in and Donovan gets back in, or, something like that.
It's a great question.
You guys already made it clear you're most skeptical about Halliburton. Who of those 12 should be most nervous?
Well, the big question is LeBron and Steph. Are they just in automatically? Or is just LeBron in automatically? Like that's the question. Because Giannis, assuming he's healthy, is not going anywhere. Jokic, Luka, none of those guys are going anywhere. Who is it? Who are the 2? Cooper?
I said Cooper.
Cooper could be better than some.
And Donovan. I'll
Could
tell
Cooper
you
be better
what
than Cade?
my immediate answer was Cade. Cade could be in and out.
A lot of it
Because
is
Cade-
he has to do so much. If they actually got a better balanced offense, his numbers would
and maybe
and then you're not the number
And how
one
long?
seed.
How much does the playoff failure? I think it's fair to say weigh on how we feel about him next year. Or if Jalen, we've had years where 3 new guys get in. Maybe the Celtics. Maybe Jalen Brown gets traded and leads that team on a deep run, as the number 1 guy. I don't know, but so those are the guys that would be nervous. Thoughts?
I wish Şengün could get back in there.
Şengün was never in there.
He shouldn't have been in line.
Şengün was in
He should
line.
be in line, right?
They were the 2 seed.
Maybe if he gets straight
better
to
last
Milwaukee
year.
and he's in the East.
Fellas, you guys were great. You can give this one.
Good job, guys.
Excellent job. That's Club Superstar 5.0. Oddly, only open till 4:20.
It's the early
That was just
club.
a coincidence. Yeah.
It's a day club.
Drake Maye, even better next year. Next. Check this video out. Oh my God. Still my beating heart. Doesn't even have a logo on the helmet yet. A.J. Brown on the field already in New England. He talked about his new quarterback, Drake Maye. He was thrilled. Take a listen.
I was watching him today. Obviously, I'm learning the plays and, out there with him. He can make any throw. He's very poised. Like today in the meeting, I would say he kind of took over the meeting. Josh was speaking, and he, kind of cut Josh off, not in a rude way, but, he just kind of took over, and it says so much from a young guy, to know what he's talking about, number 1, and to lead, and to be the voice of this team. So when I heard that, I was like, wow, that was impressive.
I don't even know what to say anymore. Here's Drake Maye last year. It's your computer screen or your phone or your TV is not broken. Yes, he was first in all these things. Best record, best completion percentage, most total yards, yards per pass, passer rating first, touchdown interceptions 31 and 8, actually 4th. Greg, we'll start with you. What are the chances that Drake Maye is actually better this year than he was last year?
Well, they're really good. I don't know if he'll be first in all those categories, but Wilds, I'm riding this wave with you. I believe in Drake Maye. Like, I will speak to this really quick. Like, anytime you get to a new team, new organization, like, you naturally are looking for everything that's exciting. So everything that A.J. Brown's saying, not that it's false, I'm sure it's true, but you see all the good stuff. There's nothing negative about New England right now that's going to come out of A.J. Brown's mouth. One of the main reasons why is because he has a quarterback that he believes, to his point when he said he can make every throw. Not that Jalen couldn't. Sometimes I don't think Jalen was willing to make every throw. You have an offensive mind that has proven he can be special when he has a special number 1 type of a guy at receiver in Josh McDaniels. With all these additions that they made on the offensive side at receiver up front to protect Drake Maye, you got to believe he's going to take a step forward in terms of getting the ball out of his hands, not holding on to it as long. Completion percentage, he's extremely accurate. If he meets that, great. If he drops just slightly, he's still going to be really good. But this team is going to be a problem. And one of the reasons why is because you get a guy who can just beat man-to-man coverage consistently.
Which they had a problem with last year.
He can absolutely make contested catches, so you don't have to have a guy that's creating a tremendous amount of separation.
Love it.
Just put the ball in the air and give him a chance. There's not a lot of receivers in this game that you can just say, hey, if you roll them out there, separation or not, still throw the ball. A.J. Brown is one of those guys.
So I agree with a lot of how A.J. Brown helps. Here is the problem, my problem with answering this question.
Okay.
Because I feel like if I asked Kevin Wildes, do you expect their record to be better? You're like, well, no, 14 wins. We just talked about how hard that's going to be. Well, do you expect them to go further as a team than they did last year? Well, that'd be win the Super Bowl. That's hard to do, so probably not.
Expect.
Do you
is
expect him to do better statistically? Well, he'd have to stay first in everything. Yeah. Do we expect him to do better in the awards? Well, he came in second in the
by
MVP,
a vote
in the MVP balloting, so he'd have to win it. So I think what I'm going to hear is the team will be worse, the record will be worse, his numbers will be worse, but I just know in my soul he'll be better.
Yes.
Okay, so I do agree.
Right.
I think young players get better as their career goes on. But I do not think he will play better. So will he be better from understanding the game and all those things that are sure? But will he play better than he played last year? No, I don't think he will.
You don't think he could play, because this is the argument I use with Purdy.
I know.
And it's the truth. It's the truism.
Thank you.
Right?
That's exactly right. It's just the truth.
But you don't think he could play better and have lesser stats?
I think it is going to be hard.
Because it's going to be a tougher
convince
competition.
Me. If all of his numbers go down and the team goes from 14 wins to 10 or 11, and they go from in the Super Bowl to losing, early in the playoffs, and he goes from second in MVP voting to 7th, that he was better this year.
So I don't think his numbers are going to go down like that.
Can you put his numbers back up?
4,300 plus
they were
yards.
first in everything.
Throw for more yards. But his rankings probably won't be first in everything. But
that's what
I
I'm
agree
saying.
with Greg. Like some of his, he could throw. Well, the yards is
total.
Maybe.
So that's with rushing.
Oh, okay. So he could throw for more yards.
He's not going to do better than 72% completion.
No, that'll probably come down a little bit.
And a near record passer rating.
Was Patrick Mahomes a better quarterback in year 3 or year 2?
I don't know. Year 2,
really?
Year 1. Wait, which
that's
year
when
are
he
we
threw
saying?
for 50 touchdowns.
Yeah,
as a starter.
But remember, when they threw up the cover 2 on him, that gave him problems early in the
I am not going to argue that Mahomes. This is what I'm saying. You can say every player in the league until their body starts breaking down gets better every year. They get more experience. But then that's not the question we're asking. If we're just saying
chances he's
no,
even better.
But what
I'm
I'm
saying is statistically are the counting stats.
Then I guess my question, then would be, how could the answer for any player in the league that's going into year 3, the answer be no? If
their numbers sink significantly. If Caleb Williams goes from completing 58% of his passes to 54, I don't think you can point at Caleb Williams and say, actually, he's better now. I think he's in a unique spot, the fact that he's number 1 in all of these.
His numbers have to almost drop.
So going from 70 to, even if he drops to 69% completion percentage, I'm not saying he didn't have a better year. I need to see how many actual throws did he make this year, this upcoming year versus completions. All those things matter. The type of throws that he's trying to make now, what he's being asked to do versus last year, it all plays a part. And so when you add a guy like A.J. Brown, you now tell your quarterback, look, we got you a bona fide number 1, Romeo Dobbs, kind of like a 1A, 1B, however you want to view it, and then we'll see what everybody else, how they fill in. But they run the ball well. Mm-hmm. They've tried their best to ensure what they have up front holds up. Do you think Drake Maye is just going to fall off?
No, What I'm saying is, I think this is.
I say this even with the competition being stiffer. I just think he's going to be better. He's going to understand
what I'm saying is, if the conversation is young players naturally with experience get better, I totally agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. But if if that's the case, then that is across the board.
But I don't think anybody's saying. I'm not saying every young player is going to get better. I'm saying at quarterback, when you've been to a Super Bowl, when they improved the offensive line, your second year with the offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels, like you got a better receiver. Like I'm talking about him specifically. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying every quarterback. I'm not saying Sam Darnold's going to be better this year than he was last year. I know he's a veteran, but I think in this case,
Stroud got worse, right?
Yeah, C.J. Stroud is worse.
Clearly got worse. His numbers sank, but just like what we were watching got worse.
Right.
He's in a tricky spot passer rating wise, right? So his passer rating, he was the best, 113. Yeah. He's almost being penalized because I think these guys all got better. Patrick Mahomes' passer rating from year 3 to year 2, as a start, 2 years a starter, third year a starter, went down 6 points. Lamar went down 5 points. Justin Herbert went down 5 points. So I think just like a little bit of a drop, but doing more and winning games against better competition and showing up in the playoffs and being able to carry the team, I think will be better. To the A.J. Brown point, what I'm interested in, Greg, look at the Texans game, because the Texans were the best defense in the world before he threw 3 touchdowns on them. 2 of Drake Maye's touchdowns, the one to Stephon Diggs in the end zone, which was in a bunch of traffic, and Stephon just grabbed it and just held it so tight. And then the Kayshon Boutte play. Those could both easily have been drops. Those were almost like wide receiver. They were placed nicely, but they were almost like wide receiver touchdowns rather than some classic ones where like, Hunter Henry like wide open. I'm looking for a lot of those from A.J. Brown.
Absolutely.
That he can actually be a little bit worse, and A.J. Brown can go and get
right.
stuff.
And so this is, I drew a chart.
Okay.
I don't know if America can see that.
Yeah.
Here's the point. I'm going to show it to you guys, and I'll talk it through. This is where I think he is a victim of a perfect storm of last season, where he started the year on a deep ball heater. In none of this discussion, we talked about that playoffs competition notwithstanding. At the midway point of the season, he went from the best deep ball thrower in the league to below average at that. And that's
We thought that was Boutte's injury, but
I don't. You might have thought that. I didn't think that was Boutte's injury. I don't hold him in probably as high a regard as you do, but that's fine. I think the first year with Josh McDaniels, the schedule, all of those things, to where I think as far as Drake Maye production was up here, and I think it is overwhelmingly likely he does not have a year where the team or he individually is as successful as far as his numbers, MVP finish or team finish, anytime in the not next year, the year after that, that he could be getting better as a player, but it will only be one time the rest of his entire career that we can show a graphic like that, where he leads the league in everything, where the team has the best record, where they make the Super Bowl. So do I think, because I do believe in Drake Maye. Do I believe he is going to be a perennial franchise quarterback? Yes. Do I think he should perennially be in the MVP mix? Yes. Do I think he's going to have a year let's use Lamar as a great example. Lamar's first year as a full-time starter, he might have been getting better as a quarterback each and every year. It took him 5 years or 4 years to have another year where the team was as good and he was as good. The year he was unanimous MVP. Right. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So I just don't know how we're defining.
He's not going to be first in all those. I can't imagine he'll be first in all those.
So maybe a better question was, at the end of the year, will you consider Drake Maye a top 5 quarterback?
And I think maybe.
Right now, I feel like he's on the cusp, and if he can solidify himself, of course, when you name 5 quarterbacks, you have to name.
Right? Can he displace one of the big 4 we talked about plus Stafford? Whether Stafford retires or falls off, that would make it easier. But let's say he doesn't. Could he jump Joe Burrow? If Patrick's, in a different category in my opinion. But
if he gets,
he has an all-time pass.
But still, so like that to me is.
If all those guys have MVPs, who's the one guy?
Yeah.
without an MVP that can take that 5 spot.
Well, Burrow doesn't have an MVP.
Yeah, so it'd be Burrow. Great news. Because of the World Cup, you can watch First Things First at our normal time, and we're going to tape live at 10 a.m. so we can react quickly to the World Cup.
For the whole World
news.
Cup.
Yeah, it's going to be great. June 11th to July 15th. Special episodes of First Things First live at 10 a.m.
So we don't, we'd love for you to watch us twice, but
You don't have
we want to be locked into the World Cup.
Yeah.
We also didn't want to be up against the World Cup. Probably
No.
hurt our ratings.
Yes. It
KW,
definitely.
Brew and I don't. Brew and I are on regular salaries. KW's got big ratings bonuses since he's the leader of the show.
Yep.
You didn't know that, Brew?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
A lot. That's why we're
talk to my
gonna
age.
come after the World Cup sometimes too. Boom.
Yeah, we'll be right there, ready. But it's going to be awesome. Mornings.
June 11th to July 15th. World Cup only 9 days away.
KW extra cranky on the morning calls.
Oh yeah.
my.
I don't know how that's gonna work.
Well, I do. You're going to be rude to
You
everyone.
guys should hop in the dock so we don't have a long discussion. Top performance presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Wow. The Knicks have had the best defensive rating in the playoffs and are now tasked with slowing down Wemby. Mike Brown looking to the heavens to help, bro. Take a listen.
You just hope a guy like that, you can find ways to make him work. You pray. I had some buddies that are monks. I can't go to them because he's got that part of the religion all wrapped up. He's Vicky. I tell you what, he's a special human being, and to watch him from afar, to see how he gets himself ready, is man. That might be second to none.
Can the Knicks slow down Wemby?
Well, look, first of all, the strategy should be yes, you want to get physical with him, but really run. Like, play fast. Obviously, it helps you if you can run and get your offense before he even gets down there, while he's on his way down there. And you can wear him down a little bit. I think that's better than just banging him and things like that. But my answer is, the only person that can slow down Wemby is Wemby and the Spurs. Like, if he's going to settle for just three-pointers and mid-range jump shots, that helps you. OG Anunoby is a phenomenal defender. But so is Alex Caruso and Jalen Williams and whatever other small players OKC threw at Wemby.
OG's bigger than Caruso.
He's 6'7". I mean, they're both, they're running around the same size. Wemby's got a literal foot on him. I get a stronger, shorter guy being able to push you out, but there are ways you can get Wemby closer to the basket without him just having to post. And if they do that and he commits to doing that, even on a pick and roll, run into the roll into the basket, throw it up. Like, if he makes a commitment, if they put a small guy on me, I am dominating them inside. And then you move outside from that, they can't stop him. It's all on him.
So how much of that, I remember I was watching when I first, this is 10 years ago. When I first got hired by Fox, I was watching a LeBron 2016 playoff game with one of our bosses somewhere. And LeBron drove to the basket and scored. And he said, and the boss said to me, he's like, see, that's what's frustrating about LeBron. He could do that. Why doesn't he do that every time? And my answer was, because it's exhausting. Because like settling for jumpers it's less taxing. And that to me, I know you call it, settling, and I just called it settling. So it's not just you that call it that. But Game 5, Wemby was out of gas, right? We saw it. Mm-hmm. And Game 6, when they blew out the Thunder, Wemby started the game off and through a lot of the game was shooting threes. And the difference was he was hitting them. It wasn't that he was all of a sudden relentlessly attacking. I do wonder how much of him settling for jumpers is because in part of his brain he fancies himself like, in kind of the Kevin Durant archetype at times on offense. He is a good shooter, yeah. And some of it because, man, it is not as exhausting. And I am.
But if you're tired, your legs can hurt your jump shot.
Absolutely, but it's not as tiring as fighting for position and all those things they ask to do on the inside. That's how I view a lot of this. Like Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals when he had 41 and only hit 1 3. He only took 2 threes. He was dominating on the inside. And so that's the piece that I do honestly wonder of how much of when you're saying he can only slow down himself or the Spurs slow him down is him being like the level of work I put in on the defensive end plus my first ever playoff run, plus my up in minutes, makes it to where I don't have the juice to battle with, even if I'm taller than them, stronger guys repeatedly on one end and battle with them on the other end. So that is why that's why I think Mitchell Robinson's so important in this series. To just not only lean on Wemby, but to fight with him for rebounds, to make every part of his job more taxing. Because you think it's going to be a 7-game series. I think it's going to be Knicks in 6. KW said Knicks in 6. If we all think it's going to be a long series, that just see how much that gets to him by the end of the series. That's the way he slows down, other than the games he just can't hit a shot.
Get some Gatorade. I just can't hear about him being tired.
I mean, this is what
life's
you come
goal.
For. This is it. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Sometimes it takes a long time.
Live from New York, first things first, overtime. Myles Garrett, fresh footage of him in the Rams facility. Hey, that works. Fresh footage. Meanwhile, what are our expectations for A.J. Brown now that he's in New England? Parkins, how much are you thrilled for A.J. Brown?
He aced the press conference today.
So good. He's like, I can't believe Drake Maye is this good. I can't believe.
Good early comments in Philly, too.
That's great. And meanwhile, special edition of Top 10 Tuesday. On the eve of the finals, is Jalen Brunson going to be the best player?
I got to sneak peek at this.
Of a Top 10 Tuesday?
Yeah.
You don't like it?
People are going to be upset.
Yeah, Top 10 Tuesday.
What else is new?
No, I'm not even saying it'll be people on this set. Might be, parents at, the school Danny's kids go to.
I'm surprised you haven't been swept up.
No,
I can't wait to see Jalen Brunson around town.
It's been the opposite. It's been the opposite.
I'm not getting invited to any watch parties. No one's giving me tickets.
Right. And Danny Parkins.
I can be bought, by the way.
Yeah, well, that's definitely.
If someone wants to invite me.
Yeah.
To a watch party?
Yeah, to the game.
To the game.
Yeah, then I'd happily wear the uniform.
Myles Garrett joined the Rams. We're waiting on his press conference to get some thoughts from him. But here's his stats in the meantime. Since entering the league, he's got the most sacks in the NFL and the most tackles for loss in the NFL. Danny, what are the chances that Myles Garrett is even better now that he's with the Rams?
I think pretty good. And I've been thinking about it all day, and the news broke before we went on the air yesterday, and I was on for 3 hours, and I'm still not sure it's really officially sunk in that Myles Garrett's on the Rams. I think when the NFL Top 100 list comes out, not that I'm a huge fan of the list and how the players put it together, but it would not shock me at all if Myles Garrett is not voted the best player in football by his peers.
Totally could be.
And so the team that we think and that Vegas thinks already was the best team, with the guy who led the league in passing, who had the most touchdown passes, who won MVP at quarterback, that arguably has the best coach, that easily could have been in the Super Bowl last year, one-score game in the NFC Championship game. The best team added the best player, and he gets to rush next to, Braden Fisk and Kobe Turner, really good, young, penetrating defensive linemen. And as the point that Nick made yesterday, we've never seen him play with a good quarterback and a good offense, so you get to rush the passer more when your team has the lead.
Yeah.
Is it possible that he set the single-season sack record last year and then beats his own record this year? I feel like we just have to – I don't know that it's settled into the masses yet that the best player in football just went to the best team in football.
No, so I think it is hard to make the argument why he wouldn't be better. And to the point to where, because when you trade for an offensive player, and maybe this is just our own lack of understanding about how defensive line scheme works. It feels like there's a lot of questions of, well, a great player, but what about the fit on the team? Like that always kind of hangs over. How will they use him? Does his offense, does the way he plays mesh with the offensive coordinator? When you trade for a defensive player, we're not worried about that really at all, except for maybe sometimes with you a zone corner or a man corner.
Right.
Not at all with pass rusher. He has been pretty indestructible, aside from, I think, it was an elbow injury at one point in his career. And I can't get over the fact that the point I talked about yesterday, which is he has been in the worst situation imaginable for a pass rusher. Now, he's had other talent on the D-line, so maybe not the worst.
And there are a couple years they made the playoffs.
Correct. But they weren't making the playoffs because they were blowing teams out with an explosive offense.
Yeah.
He has... I should have maybe looked this up. I wonder how many in his already Hall of Fame career snaps Myles Garrett has played with a 3-score lead.
It's got to be a very small number.
Yeah.
And so...
If you told me 0,
and certainly even just the number of snaps he's played the last couple years with a 2-score lead since that year they made the playoffs is going to be very small. He's going to have that consistently. It feels to me like the only thing aside from injury that would slow this Rams team down is the weight of expectations. We haven't had an NFL team, at least that I don't think, that we felt like just was markedly more talented than all the other contenders with an awesome quarterback in a very long time. I'm not comparing this team to the team about to say, 07 Patriots were that. It was they had all pros on defense. They had Randy Moss on offense. And maybe the peak of the Gronk Hernandez Patriots kind of felt like that as well. I don't think there was a single Chiefs team that we felt like was overwhelming from a talent perspective on both sides of the ball.
Right.
You know what I mean?
One side.
Yeah. And so it is, and the Eagles teams that we've talked so much about their overwhelming talent, there were still many folks, and maybe still are, who were like, yeah, but the quarterback is a somewhat limiting factor. Nobody thinks that about Stafford. So is that pressure too much? I don't know. But on paper, I do think this is clearly the best team in the league.
No, I agree with you guys on why he should be better. I mean, better players you're playing with. So they're not able to put as much attention on you as they were when you were in Cleveland. And I think, too, contrary, like you're saying, could the pressure get to him? There's also the excitement about I really have a chance to win a championship now. I really can win a Super Bowl. I've already broken the sack record. I've done everything individually. Now I can add a Super Bowl to that. You're talking about legacy. And so the excitement of that, yeah, I mean, it would be awesome if he went out there and broke the sack record again. But I'll throw this. Here's the thing, though. As great as that would be, he's got to win the Super Bowl. Reggie White, that's what a lot of people are comparing this to. Yeah. Reggie White getting traded from Philadelphia to Green Bay. Reggie White's numbers, they remained good in Green Bay, but they weren't as good as they were in Philadelphia individually. But guess what? He won a Super Bowl, and we remember him more as a Packer. And that was a huge Super Bowl win for them because it was the first since Lombardi and all that stuff. So if his numbers decline a little bit, but he delivers a Super Bowl, that's really the biggest thing.
Bonus question, Danny. You ready?
Sure.
From your initial take, best team added the best player and addressed their only one weakness in the offseason. Should we put the Rams on undefeated watch?
I was thinking about that. So I think that is, maybe I'll get there. This is all pencil, not pen. Yeah, just watch. I think it's a little disrespectful if you're in the division with Seattle. If you're in the division with the champs who just had a blowout Super Bowl victory, and yes, they got a little worse, but losing Kenneth Walker, I love it for the Chiefs. It is a running back. Losing Kobe Bryant, I love the addition for the Bears. It is a safety. they bring back the vast majority of a team that we just saw have a blowout Super Bowl victory.
Can I make an argument just to put it on undefeated? They lost the championship 27-31. They lost in overtime 37-38. And their win was 21-19. If 31 goes down to 24 and 38,
You're talking about against Seattle.
Against Seattle.
Yeah, sure.
And Stafford has 8 touchdowns and no interceptions. It's the story with Seattle's season was quarterbacks can't beat, like our defense is too good, except for Stafford. There it was like we can't stop Sam Darnold.
Oh, I think the Rams would have also blown out the Patriots, to be very clear, right? Like, so I think they were the
definitely. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
John, edit that out.
That was great.
Edit that out.
That was great.
Got him.
Josh doesn't have time to edit that out because he was giving us the answer to the question. Myles Garrett in his career has averaged 35 snaps a season with a 3-score lead. There's about 80 defensive snaps in a game. So basically a total of 1/2 of one game a year. The Browns have been up 17 or more.
That's about to go up.
No, and so so he said it's 300 total in his entire 9-year career. So yeah, I mean that he should have close to that many this season.
Yeah.
And so that is the piece of it that I do wonder what the upper bound is. And when you were talking about the defensive tackles, Byron Young is a really good player on the opposite end. Myles will still obviously be double teamed, but it's going to be, he's been double teamed his whole career. I am really curious what it looks like with Myles Garrett just being unleashed, pure pass rusher. The team is up 24-10 at halftime for a whole second half, and how teams respond to that.
Well, and what it could do, you kind of saw this with Micah Parsons in Green Bay. They could just still put all the attention on Garrett, and it opens it up sacks for other guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a rare thing. I don't know. I wouldn't say Stafford's the best quarterback in football, but he was the MVP. Like, we were looking it up earlier. 1994, Steve Young, the MVP, and had Deion Sanders. Like, best quarterback, best defensive player on the same team.
Well, it's literally the defending MVP and Defensive Player of the Year.
Right.
Yeah, so that was 94.
94,
right?
and
so
then Lawrence Taylor was that, but obviously it was the same guy.
Yeah.
So it's very rare in NFL history that we get this collection of talent, best player on each side of the ball on the same team.
Better go undefeated.
Better go undefeated.
Okay.
I think I'm putting the Rams on undefeated watch.
Watch.
Just undefeated watch. They're on undefeated watch.
Undefeated watch, and then Stafford and Garrett retire, and it's like, oh man, those picks.
Undefeated.
Ty Simpson.
All right, it's Tuesday, so it's time for Top 10 Tuesday in the eve of the finals. Top 10 Tuesday today, top 10 players in the finals.
Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Also seemed like the thing to do. Should be a great matchup. Coming in number 10, Julian Champagnie. He was unbelievable in Game 7. Brew, you said he was the X factor who could swing a series. There's going to be a theme when we do graphics today on the top 10 list. It's the Elite Company top 10.
Oh. Danny loves these. Danny
I love
loves. I'm not saying this guy belongs with these people, but let me show you him with these people.
That's right.
Okay.
It's really
I like
fun.
that.
It's a fun game. 6 or more threes
thinking
in Game 7 of a conference finals. Obviously, Champagnie is not Klay Thompson or Steph Curry. No one's saying that.
But he's playing like him.
But he played like him in Game 7 as a shooter. Feels like an X factor who can swing a series. Coming in at number 10. I could have done it for all of these guys, but coming in at number 9, Keldon Johnson. 6th man of the year, carrying it over. Sometimes the minutes went down, the points went down, but in terms of points off the bench this postseason, only Dylan Harper and Alex Caruso has more, and we've seen him have huge moments throughout the postseason. Great player, obviously, for the Spurs. First Nick makes his appearance.
I'm shocked any Knicks are going to make it.
All right, take it easy. Take it easy. Mikal Bridges shooting 59% from the field this postseason, best among all players with at least 140 shot attempts. That's a huge bounce back also. First 5 games of the playoffs, he was awful, averaging only 7 points a game. He's been spectacular ever since. Coming in number 7, De'Aaron Fox. Looks great in Game 7. Obviously still somewhat hobbled, but hopefully that's a sign that he's coming back. Only player on the Spurs starting lineup with any playoff experience going in. He's been great.
Is he lower because of his injury?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Lower because of his injury, and I admit that I am a little higher on the guy who's going to come in at number 4 on this list than most, but we'll get to that in just a second.
Wait, well, hold on. Lower because of his injury? I thought the Thunder were the only team that dealt with injuries. That's
I mean, he
crazy.
played.
That's just crazy.
Here's the difference. One guy played.
I mean, he missed games. He missed the
first two
He missed
games.
the first two games.
And
Right?
he won one of
Did he
them.
play in the deciding game?
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I just want to be sure
As
he
you were.
played in the
It
deciding
wouldn't have
game.
been no Game 7 if he had been healthy.
Yeah.
He played in the deciding game? Okay. Coming to number 6, OG Anunoby. I mean, that's too low? All right, I'll go fast so you can yell at me for all of these things.
Yeah.
Only
No, take
player
your
in the
time.
playoffs averaging over 57% from the floor and 48% from 3
Yeah.
with over 50 3-point attempts. Karl Anthony Towns, by the way, hitting those thresholds, but only 45 3-point attempts. So the Knicks have 2 guys who are
He's
shooting.
basically
at those
shooting
clips.
60-50 splits in the playoffs.
Pretty good.
He's an all-NBA level defender.
Yeah.
This must be the most talented finals in the history of the league.
It's a
I
pretty
can't
good
wait
final.
to see who's in the top 5.
And you think those numbers might regress a little bit?
I don't know.
Top 10 players
he's been
in
pretty
the
good.
God,
Go ahead.
doing a show with
Go
your
ahead.
best friend. Not all it's cracked out to be. Just chirping the whole time. Coming in at number 5, Stephon Castle. Had an immense impact on SGA. Everyone was talking about his defense, and they should. But on the offensive side of the ball, partly because of Dylan Harper injuries, partly because of the De'Aaron Fox injuries, yeah, he had the big turnover games, but the ball was in his hands a lot. Assists, 21 and younger in the postseason, good company. Rondo and Magic and Stephon Castle. Outside shot, if he has a huge finals and it goes long to catch Magic, Rondo, 172 assists in a single postseason at age 21. Pretty ridiculous. Coming in number 4, this was very controversial in the producer room, having Dylan Harper ahead of Stephon Castle. Dylan Harper is remarkable, and the splits of when they win and when they lose, he's averaging like 16 in their wins, 7 in their losses. Unbelievable poise for a rookie point guard. Seems like as he goes, they go, and he also has the ability to calm down when other guys have been not performing. He comes in and was great. He was great in Game 6 and 7 of the Western Conference Finals. Coming to number 3, Karl Anthony Towns. He's been absolutely ridiculous. Best version of himself for months, really, on both ends of the floor. We just mentioned the efficiency splits for him, shooting from 2 and from 3. But also, plus minus. Best plus minus in a conference finals sweep, only playing 4 games. In the last 10 years, it's him, KD, and Steph. He has just been spectacular on both ends of the floor. I had a ton of doubts about him. He has proven me wrong every step of the way. Coming in at number 2, Jalen Brunson. Over the last 3 postseasons, he's your leading playoff scorer. 0.2 of a point higher than SGA. I would have absolutely guessed that it was Shea over the last 3 playoffs. He also has the most total points in the last 4 playoffs. No one scored more points in the last 4 playoffs than Jalen Brunson. Coming in at number 1, Victor Wembanyama. I thought this was a good theme for today because it was Club Superstar. Great club. Victor Wembanyama is about to enter the 400-260 club. 400 or more points, 200 or more rebounds, 60 or more blocks in a single postseason. Duncan, Hakeem doing it 3 times, Ewing, Shaq, Dwight Howard. Pretty good list for a guy who's 22 years old. But so you see his numbers, 394, 183 at 60. Bump it up, Hakeem, Ewing, and Duncan. He is going to enter that list. Now, I was asking Troy, I was like, is there any way we could make a club that Wemby could get into this year that he would be the only guy?
No.
Hakeem in 94.
No, Hakeem was like 32 a game in those playoffs.
664 points, 254 rebounds, and 92 blocks.
Yeah, no.
So Hakeem in 94, unattainable for 22-year-old Wemby, but those are your top 10 players heading in to the NBA Finals.
Is Wemby the best player in the world?
Yeah.
Wow.
He is. He is the best player in the world.
All right, glad you came along. But I think it's a good list. Obviously, I don't think you won't get any argument on the first 3. I'm gonna move Castle ahead of Dylan Harper. Like Castle is their second leading scorer in the postseason to Wemby, obviously. Second leading scorer against OKC, led them in assists for the postseason, the series, and the regular season. And in the regular season was the 3rd leading scorer behind De'Aaron Fox and Wemby. And the thing is, look, Harper is a great spark plug, and more than that. I mean, he may end up being better in the future.
I think Myles is going to age. I think he will age as the better player.
Yeah, he may end up being, and I think it'll be close because obviously Castle's defense is critical, particularly on SGA. And if Harper was their second best player, which you're saying he is, he's not only playing 26 minutes a game. Like, that would be ridiculous if you're only playing your second best player 26 minutes a game when Castle's playing 10 more minutes, at least in that last series, and Wemby's obviously playing way more. So I think that's my main thing. I would move Castle ahead of Dylan Harper.
Would you have Harper right behind him? Because I think it is
I think
very
right
close.
now, I think Fox is more important to the team.
Oh, you do?
Just because of his ball handling. Like, we saw the difference against OKC. And even now, I still think just generally, he's not as spectacular as Harper and all that. But Fox, I would have Castle and Fox ahead of Dylan Harper.
And OG should be ahead of Dylan Harper, which gets me to my point.
At this point.
Which, it's not even close. I don't think this is who's going to have the next best 5 years of the guys in the NBA Finals. Top 10 players right now. I think it is on the board, for the record, that Brunson has a better series than Wemby. I'm fine with Wemby being number one, and it's going to be how much better offensively does Brunson have to be to offset the defensive impact. So I'm not going to argue that point. But Danny's disrespect for the Knicks knows no bounds. Josh Hart is better than Keldon Johnson and Julian Champagnie. Full stop. He's been better in these playoffs, and he is better. OG Anunoby is better than Dylan Harper. Stephon Castle, I agree with Brew. I have no problem. I think he's the second best player on the Spurs. I didn't think that was going to be the case going into this year, but it has been. But OG Anunoby is better than Dylan Harper, and Josh Hart is better, more valuable, more versatile, plays more minutes, does more all around than Keldon Johnson or Julian Champagnie. The Knicks, all they've done for this postseason is annihilate people, and it's not because they have some amazing bench. It is because their starting five is shooting a better percentage from the field than any starting five in the playoffs since the '86 Lakers, and they make teams quit at the end of the playoffs. I don't know how Josh Hart can't be on there, and I don't know how OG Anunoby can't be on the top row.
OG has been great. I think there's a legit case there. Harper and Champagnie or Keldon Johnson, I think that is a straight toss-up, and it depends on what role you value the guys in. The Knicks have 2 of the top 3 and 4 of the top 8. The top 8 is exactly split between Knicks and Spurs. It's a top 10, and it's 6 and 4. I don't look at that as being totally disrespectful to the
9 and
Knicks.
10? Do you think either one of those guys has been better or is better right now than Josh Hart?
Yes, I do. I think I expect those guys to have a bigger impact in these finals than Josh Hart. I do.
Okay. Keldon Johnson was nowhere to be found for giant
didn't
portions
play
of
great
the conference
against
finals
OKC.
until the fourth quarter of Game 7. And credit to him what he did in the fourth quarter of Game 7. You know what Josh Hart was doing in the fourth quarter of his Game 4?
Yeah, I was just
Kicking
saying,
his
no
legs
Game
up.
7.
Why? There certainly was no Game 7.
No
He was
Game
just
7.
watching, chilling, because they stole the Cavs' heart.
We'll see. My pick tomorrow.
Steph and Clay.
Thank you.
Champagnie had an awesome
Thank you for
game.
paying attention.
Yeah, the Knicks guys have stunk in Game 7s. They have zeros across the board in Game 7s in these playoffs.
My official pick for the NBA Finals tomorrow
tomorrow.
He might pick a sweep. I'm telling you, America, he could pick a Spurs
They did
sweep.
beat his
I mean, they beat an inevitable
his mighty
team.
Thunder.
Yeah, I
Still
mean,
can't believe it.
Yeah.
Coming up next, a little A.J. Brown to the Patriots talk with Greg Jennings. That's next on First Things First Overtime.
Danny, I do appreciate you pushing that to the B block so we didn't have to hear Wilds cooing about it again.
No problem. Happy to help. Welcome back to First Things First. Greg Jennings out here now. Let's go to New England, Greg. A.J. Brown, he is officially a Patriot. And I would have thought no one would have been more excited than Kevin Wildes. But then I heard A.J. Brown's press conference today. He was giddy. Brown spoke to the media today after his first practice. Take a listen.
I mean, I'm still in awe. You know, I'm trying to adjust and, you know, walking up the hill with the uniform on. I was like, man, this is real. You know, and caught myself one point in practice, wasn't paying attention because I was like, dang, I'm a Patriot. You know, I got back to work quickly, but it's levels to it, and like I said, I'm enjoying it. It's obviously I know this ain't heaven, but you know, it's close to it.
That's just a spectacular line. Great first impression by A.J. Brown with the Patriots. Are you buying that this fit is going to work out great?
Absolutely. I'm definitely buying. We're talking about a team that had a Stephon Diggs, an older version of Stephon Diggs, coming off of injury, leading them in the receptions and yards category. And now he's moved on. A.J. Brown, younger version, we know what he's capable of. He just adds value immediately, obviously what they've done in the offseason. But when A.J. Brown is talking about this opportunity and it kind of being a little slice of heaven, like obviously he knows what heaven is, but it's because of what is to come. And I got some plays that I want you to see, because a lot of times we look at young quarterbacks and we see receivers and we're like, man, they got to create a lot of separation. And that's not always true when you're dealing with the type of player that A.J. Brown is. He doesn't need a bunch of separation. Here's Kenny Pickett late in the season against the Commanders, puts a ball up there because he knows who's going to make the play. He trusts the type of player he is. Jalen Hurts did it. And I think
Just always open.
And when you talk about players like A.J. Brown, I think this is one of the things that flies under the radar, and it especially did last season, which I believe kind of brewed a lot of that frustration, because Jalen Hurts, he doesn't consistently throw this type of a ball.
Right.
Where his guy isn't uncovered and he has to throw them open or give them a chance. I'm not saying he never did it, but we saw it less and less as their career together continued to progress. And so when you look at a Drake Maye, who obviously completes a high volume of his passes, very accurate, he can make every throw. We're going to see a lot more of those where he's not only schemed open, but when he's not open, still give him a chance and he'll make a play for you.
All right, so I want to respond to the on-the-field stuff, because I think A.J. Brown is spectacular. The videos you showed, he's open even when he isn't. One of the things about, and it's funny from someone like me telling someone like you, one of the things about receivers, right, Jack? But like, I try to judge it like, I think Justin Jefferson is the best receiver in football, and part of how I like parse the greatness between him and a Puka Nacua or a Jamar Chase is like, he has done it without great quarterback play, right? So like,
fair.
But there's a lot of great receivers, and I always imagine, like, what if that great receiver then ended up in a great situation? So if we look at A.J. Brown, he's been in the league since 2019, 6 years.
Yeah.
All 6 years, he has had up over 1,000 yards. It's Justin Jefferson, Mike Evans, and shout out to Stephon Diggs. But then if I show you every quarterback that he has caught a pass from since he has been in the league, are you going to tell me that Drake Maye is not clearly the most talented passer of the football by a considerable margin of every name on that list?
I mean, Gardner Minshew can sling it.
He can sling it, yeah, but like...
No, absolutely. Of course.
So it's kind of like the cousin of the conversation I had with the guys in the last segment about like, we have to imagine what Myles Garrett will look like pass rushing with a lead.
Yeah.
We haven't really seen it. We have to imagine, what is A.J. Brown going to look like with a quarterback with the arm talent of Drake Maye throwing him the ball? Because we've never seen it before. Now that's the football part of it. I went back and I read a long article about A.J. Brown leaving Tennessee to go to Philly. And there's just some things in there that age kind of funny. Like, ooh, he's really excited to get to Philly because him and Jalen Hurts have a great relationship dating back to high school when Jalen Hurts tried to recruit A.J. Brown to go to Alabama instead of Ole Miss. Now we know about how their relationship, has gone. And then, the Titans felt like they could move on from him, and they drafted Treylon Burks, and they didn't want to pay A.J. Brown because the wide receiver market was exploding with guys like Christian Kirk. Like, it aged really poorly for A.J. Brown leaving Tennessee, and it got messy. It got messy with him in Philly. His first impression here is great, but I wonder if messiness doesn't just follow A.J. Brown with some of the drama, and if there's a speed bump, if something happens, if he's not getting the ball, if the drama won't follow him to New England.
I don't necessarily think that the drama will follow him. Like, you still want the type of player that he's been. You want the attitude. You want, in terms of what he presents on the field, you want all of that. And he had to sit down with, drawing a blank. He had to sit down. No,
Maria Taylor.
Maria
Yeah,
Taylor,
we'll
excuse me.
Yeah.
He had to sit down with Maria Taylor And he talked about his experience and some of the lessons learned, and he talked about too much in the wrong season can kind of create turmoil, and some of the things that he pointed back at himself, like the book on the sideline, saying some of the things that out tweeting and on social media, things that he wouldn't do. He's not going to do that moving forward. You live and you learn. We saw Stephon Diggs. We questioned what type of leadership skills he will provide this team going into last year because of a young Drake Maye. And he was the consummate pro, a version that we hadn't seen, if you will. The same can be said, and I believe will be true and hold true with A.J. Brown. When you are excited about a situation, when you are extending your career, and you're trying to continue to be the player that everybody expects you to be, that you expect to be, then you have to move differently. You have to embrace every situation slightly different, but bring the same passion, the same edge, and even hopefully more of the same type of volume, type of a play.
Well, you mentioned the interview with Maria Taylor. He had the great impressions with the introductory press conference in New England. I want to show you a clip and imagine how Jalen Hurts is feeling, both watching that press conference and this clip right here.
Not as close as we once were. And I believe that's fine. It's like there's no bad blood. There's actually still a lot of love. I love him. I love him to death. I want him to succeed and accomplish all the things that he wants to accomplish. You know, we haven't been as close as we were a couple years now, but that didn't stop anything. Mm-hmm. You know, we still competed. We still pushed each other. We still led the team.
So Eagles fans are trying to put on a good front. We replaced him. We got Mekhi Lemon. I don't know. I expect A.J. Brown to be excellent in New England, and Philly fans to be looking around being like, you know what, we could use a guy like A.J. Brown. How do you think Jalen Hurts should feel right now?
He should be both excited about the opportunity to play and not hear some of the things that he heard and feel that type of chatter coming from inside your locker room, specifically from a guy that you have a relationship with.
I just wonder sorry, go ahead.
But at the same time, he's going to get on the field, and there's going to be times where those contested catches that I showed earlier, he's going to need that play to be made. And I don't know if they have a player that can, and Devontae Smith is an excellent receiver.
It's great.
I don't know if the volume of how A.J. Brown goes about being physical and making those contested catches, if there's a player on there that can do on their roster that can do that. Now, Mekhi Lemon, we will see, because he is definitely built to be physical, to go across the middle, to make those contested catches. We've seen him do it in college. We'll see if it continues to translate. I believe it will. But when they needed a play, regardless of what was going on, whether they weren't getting him the ball, whether they were minimizing some of his opportunities, when they needed a play, they typically dialed up a play for 11, and he came through.
I'm interested to know, because when A.J. Brown would do things, speak out of pocket on a Twitch stream or in the media or whatever, there weren't a ton of Eagles players saying, man, A.J. can't do that. It felt like he was sometimes the spokesperson for the locker room that was saying, like...
He alluded to that in that interview.
Exactly. Like, people agreed with me. The passing offense needed to be better. We were underperforming what we should have been. So I wonder if Jalen Hurts is just going to be like, man, I just have a different messenger this year. Like, if the offense still sputters, maybe it'll be Devontae Smith speaking out. Maybe it'll be someone else on that offense just filling the role of A.J. Brown being disgruntled that they're underperforming.
Well, I think we'll hear more from those guys because there is no A.J. Brown in the locker room anymore. But this is going to be a very telling year for Jalen Hurts. Like, in terms of, you have to be the guy. You have no more A.J. Brown, who's a superstar. Obviously, Devontae Smith, who was a number 2, but obviously can fill the role of a number 1. But he's not a big voice. He doesn't garner the attention that A.J. Brown does. And obviously, you have Saquon on that roster as well. It's going to come down to how we view Jalen Hurts in this passing game.
There's going to be scrutiny on the Eagles quarterback?
A little bit of scrutiny.
That's shocking to me.
Will be new.
Nick Friedel will come out here next to talk NBA Finals. Welcome back to First Things First. Nick Friedel back with us today. Let's talk NBA Finals. The Knicks are well rested heading into tomorrow night's Game 1. Jalen Brunson, of course, the top story for New York's titles hopes. Draymond Green, though, he's got a podcast if you haven't heard. He wanted to double down on his and Becky Hammon's past take on Jalen Brunson and his limitations. Take a listen.
I still think the New York Knicks are missing that one piece that makes you a championship team. And that's Kevin Durant, that's Steph Curry, that's SGA, that's LeBron James. That's these 1A, bona fide 1A, that like if I go here tomorrow, I'm 1A. If I go there the next day, I'm 1A. Until they have that, I just don't think it's gonna be very tough to win a championship. And I double down on this. Just like Becky Hammond said, prove me wrong. Getting out of the East has never been a surefire to winning a championship. What y'all talking about? You get out of the East, you're supposed to get out of the East. It's the East.
I mean, the man has takes. As a professional takesmith, the man has takes. Nick, thank you for being back with us. Do you expect Brunson to silence whatever doubters he has left in these finals?
Yes, I do, Danny. But the problem is I expect Brunson to leave no doubt about his own self. I still don't think he can carry the Knicks all the way through.
All right, that's a distinction. Sure.
And that's the problem because everybody's going to say, oh, a little guy, he can't get them all the way to a title. But he's talented enough to be the guy that rallies everybody else night to night. He's just not Wemby. So Draymond can fire off any take he wants. Brunson is that guy, and I think he will silence any doubt that people have that he can be the one to make it happen. I just don't know if it's Towns, if it's Anunoby, if it's Bridges. Who's going to step up and help him night to night that you can count on every time? That's a much bigger question to me as we get ready to start this thing.
Yeah, and he's been, listen, all of those guys that you just mentioned have been spectacular. OG's been great, Towns has been great, Bridges started slow, and he's been great ever since. I guess I fall into the Brunson category of doubters, but I don't deny his greatness. I have just questioned whether or not they could win at the highest level, and here they are in the finals. And as we saw with Indiana last year, if you can make the finals, you can win. And even if I'm a doubter, and I know Knicks fans don't love it, like me and Draymond and Becky Hammond, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not exactly a huge group of us. Like, this guy was number 3 in the NBA this year in jersey sales. He was number 5 last year in jersey sales. The Knicks were number 1 in merch sales. Like, this is not a guy who is very criticized. He is a beloved figure in New York. He's a beloved figure in the NBA. The X's and O's basketball of this, though, I am very interested in. Like, Stephon Castle did a great job on SGA, but it was not just Stephon Castle. Part of it was A.J. Mitchell wasn't out there and J-Dub wasn't out there, so there weren't secondary creators. But if you have a great perimeter defender and then you have the greatest defensive player either of us have ever seen behind you in Wemby, it made SGA struggle. And so if we show SGA's numbers regular season and then Western Conference Finals against the Spurs, everything was down. And SGA and Brunson are the top 2 scorers in the playoffs over the last 3 years. So while Brunson has the advantage that his guys around him are healthy, his other offensive pieces that Shea didn't, I do wonder if Castle guarding Brunson with Wemby backing him up is just going to make, we've seen some inefficient games from Jalen Brunson, if that just pops up too many times for the Knicks to overcome.
Danny, what frustrates Brunson the most? Length.
And
Anybody
the Spurs have it.
Through time can get all over him, and they're going to send every kind of body at him. But over the years, what gets in his head a little bit more, it's guys with length and with size. Jalen Brunson is playing for a lot more than just New York and the crazed fan base that is the Knicks right now. He's playing for all the little guards coming behind him and all those guys that, well, you can be good, but I don't know if you can be great because you're too small.
There is a little guard stigma. I mean, Darius Garland, Trey Young, like those guys, there's a lot of question on their validity in the league right now.
Can you ever be the number 1 guy? Jalen Brunson is playing for all those guys for years to come. I think he has it within him. I think that the Knicks can do it. It's just that I trust Brunson more than the rest of his supporting cast. But he has the ability to prove any doubters like Draymond and everybody else wrong forever. He just has to make sure that he can get around Wemby and get around Castle and get around Harper and all the guys they're going to send his way. It's a tough job, but he has the star power to do it.
Speaking of Wemby, let's go to the other side of the matchup here. So the Spurs upset the Thunder, much discussed. They play for a shot at the trophy, just like the Knicks, tomorrow night. So the Knicks head coach, Mike Brown, asked to do a little scouting report on Victor Wembanyama. All right, coach, how do you contain him?
You just hope a guy like that, you can find ways to make him work. You know, you pray. You know, I had some buddies that are monks. I can't go to them because he's got that part of the religion all wrapped up. You know, he's Vicky. I tell you what, he's a special human being, and to watch him from afar, to see how he gets himself ready, is, man, that might be second to none.
Universal praise for Wemby right now. So who's making a bigger impact in the series? Wemby or literally anyone else? Wemby or the field?
Give me Wemby.
Yeah.
And every time, Danny, because he has the size, he has the length, he has the superstar quality that everybody's been looking for in the league. And on top of all that, we have not seen a guy who can have the defensive impact he has as Defensive Player of the Year and offensively hit from the logo and hit the step shots that make everybody go, oh boy. So I know there are other two-way players in this series. Anunoby can be a huge, impactful piece when he needs to. It's Wemby's world right now, and in this series, he will be the difference maker on both ends. Somebody each night is going to have to step up and beat him specifically.
I completely agree. Wemby's the best player in the world. You know he's going to be crazy impactful defensively. It's cliche at this point to be like, you know, it doesn't all show up in the stat sheet. Like, it's just,
He changed the narrative.
I've never seen so many players just like they dribble in and then they're like, nah, and then they retreat. Like, we should have like a new stat for retreats in basketball. I will say I know that the Knicks believe that they are uniquely qualified to match up, not just because of the NBA Cup. I went back and looked at that box score, by the way. Mitchell Robinson in the NBA Cup game played 18 minutes, had 15 rebounds in 18 minutes, 10 offensive rebounds. Like the combination of Karl Anthony Towns to draw Wemby away from the basket and Mitchell Robinson to, in that Hartenstein role, just like body him, be physical, great offensive rebounder, catch lobs. I do think the Knicks believe that if anybody is uniquely equipped to match up with him, they are that team. But Wemby is such a different force right now than he was even during the middle of the season, as is his supporting cast. I don't know how you could pick anybody else.
Danny, the key is confidence. This guy from that point in the year knows he's that good. The rest of his teammates know he's that good. And the rest of the league knows that they're all looking his way. He has the power to change everything in this series. He knows it. And it's really, just as a fan, I'm looking forward to this a lot. There have not been matchups like this in a long time in the league, and I think the league itself has got to be ecstatic about what he brings every time he's out there.
So Wemby's the heavy favorite to be Finals MVP. Brunson is the next favorite. But then after Brunson, it goes to Cat. Because like you could see a world where the Knicks win and Karl Anthony Towns gets it.
I don't know if I could see that world.
He's been great. There's a narrative there.
But maybe.
You can squint. I think it's like 18-1. But the next highest Spur for Finals MVP is Stephon Castle at 50-1. Like there is no scenario where the Spurs win and Victor Wembanyama isn't Finals MVP. All right, coming up, Nick Friedel going to still hang out here. We just talked Finals MVP. What about the whole darn thing? Who deserves to be the favorite to win that Larry O'Brien trophy? We'll talk about it coming up on the OT.
It's a great team, you know. It's a great team of experienced guys who are not here by chance, but by relentless effort over the years, and very different career paths for all of them. So they're right where they're supposed to be, in my opinion. And all of them are going to be super hungry in their own way.
Ton of respect from Wemby towards the Knicks. You heard it earlier from Mike Brown towards Wemby. That's interesting. Spurs were a little bit bigger as a 2-1 favorite this morning, so that means it's moving in the direction of the Knicks. Still, though, the Spurs a decided favorite. Nick Friedel still hanging out. I feel like Knicks fans, the Knicks organization, loves the role of being the underdog. Do you think they deserve to be the underdog in this series? Because those odds are pretty close.
I do because of Wemby. and because of his singular star power. But Mr. Parkins, the value is with the Knicks. And I know it's getting bet down, and I know the money's pouring in, but the value as the underdog is with New York right
So you
now.
easily could see the Knicks winning the series.
Absolutely. If Brunson brings everybody together, it can happen. I just don't know if anyone has the answer right now for Wemby.
I think that's totally fair. If you beat the Thunder, who I said were inevitable, I am just ipso facto, you absolutely deserve to be the favorite. Plus, you have a 7'5" alien on your team. But I can't discount that the Knicks have played one of the most dominant months of basketball in the history of the sport. Like, it might just continue. I have to be open to the possibility.
They believe at such a higher level than they did a month ago, too, which is key in any discussion.
Yeah, the idea that the Knicks would be plus 150 to win the NBA championship is pretty remarkable. Nick, game 1 tomorrow. It's finally here. We'll be back talking about it on First Things First.